The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan. Hey, Uwe Boll, we know you wanted to direct this movie. Release the bowl cut.
Player to another. Dark soul glide. Turn on the TV, pick up the controller and play some games with the Nude Clan.
Welcome, everyone, to Nude Clan, the video game podcast that reconvenes quarterly to review bad video game movies. I am your host, A4.
I am Joe.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Caleb, marking myself safe from the evil Jewish space pagers.
What?
What are you talking
Am I not terminally online enough to know what the fuck you just...
No, I got a notification earlier that somehow the Jews hacked into a bunch of Hezbollah members' pagers and they exploded in their pockets. They killed a bunch of people.
Like that fucking mission in Grand Theft Auto 5 where you blow the guy's phone up?
Or like that really awful fucking Die Hard movie. It's like Die Harderer or whatever.
Die More Harderer.
Yeah, it was like Bruce Willis was in charge of the naming at the time. And
man, if you thought the sandwich board at the beginning of...
And it was before, and it was like at the start of when he got his illness. It was a hard
Man, if you thought the sandwich board he wore at the beginning of the third movie was offensive, you really should have seen what he wrote on the front of that one at the beginning of that movie.
Yeah. So, and today, guys, if you didn't notice, we are reviewing the Borderlands
2024 shining gem, the Borderlands movie, directed by Eli Roth and written by Joe Crombie.
Yeah, yanked out of theaters faster than Pee Wee Herman with his dick out.
Yanked out of theaters faster than Concord getting yanked off the PSN.
Oh, a lot of stuff has happened.
Dude, yeah, we missed that whole thing.
Yeah, Concord got fucked. We're talking about Bloodborne. We're talking about Bloodborne in the brain. Yeah, Borderlands got fucking destroyed out of that theater.
You should check your. You can go to the doctor if you got Bloodborne on the brain.
Oh, I love that game.
It's dangerous.
It's
a medical condition.
you know, it's cool because Sony announced a Bloodborne remaster for PS5 and not a god awful PS5 Pro. That's
wait, did they actually?
No.
Okay.
They announced
I'm like,
PS5
did I miss
Pro
something?
because Sony is a-holes. I almost said a C word, but I don't want to get kicked off of Twitch.
I guess this is. I guess this is the news section. We missed the whole thing where Concord got revealed. No one cared. Came out. Literally, no one was playing it. Got yanked off PSN after 2 weeks, and then the same day, Sony releases their best game in like a decade, and then 4 days later, Sony was like, "Hey, we did something really good. We should fuck it up by announcing a $700 mid-console upgrade without a disc drive that features imperceptible changes to the vanilla console."
Yeah,
graphics-wise.
100%.
Well, because I was kind of surprised looking at the Discord and seeing how, because let's be real, a lot of the people that follow our podcast are big PlayStation fans, because you guys are all big PlayStation fans. I mean, I still kind of am, but even people in the Discord were going this is too much for what this console is showing me you get.
I mean,
$700.
If you think about inflation and shit, I think the N64 was pretty up there at the time of release.
Well, the N64 didn't sell super well compared to the PlayStation, which was cheaper.
The PlayStation,
right? Yeah, that's true.
The PlayStation did outsell the N64 ultimately, but I knew so many more people with N64s back in the day. I don't know.
Yeah.
It felt like the N64. It's always a surprise when I hear that the PS1 blew the N64 out of the water in terms of sales. But
sorry.
I was just gonna say, people were posting that thing where it's according to inflation, all these other PlayStation consoles would have been around $600, $700. And it's but they didn't feel that expensive even back in the day when that like.
Oh no, the PS3
I don't know,
felt,
man.
The PS3
Okay.
felt like a brick.
Okay, I
Like,
should say
that was like,
the PS3 was the
what?
only other time where it felt like what were they fucking but like even the
But the PS3 had a new technology in there that
PS
was
the PS3 had the benefit of being a new generation, and you could see the graphical upgrade between PS2 and PS3. This is a mid-gen refresh of the PS5, where they're showing side by sides. That like I can't tell I guess this screenshot has slightly more grass. The windows in the background of this screenshot of The Last of Us 2 are slightly more transparent, and it's just like, is this?
Yeah, it wasn't great.
And then there's like this AI generated upscaling thing, and I'm like, is this just for people with like 4K TVs? Because like I'm not watching it on a 4K TV. I can't tell the fucking difference on my 1080p monitor, but like I would have to assume a lot of the PS5 games natively run at 4K anyway. I know that fucking if you have the graphics setting on high for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it runs at 4K. Not that I would notice, but like apparently it's what it was doing. So like, what's the point of the AI upscaling? I don't get it.
No, man, it sounds A4. You're so disappointing all the time. You're like, oh, I couldn't see the difference on my potato-powered fucking monitor. It's like, oh yeah, you couldn't see the difference on your tube TV, huh?
Hey, look, my CRT is nice. Okay, it's 27 inches. Simpsons Hit and Run looked gorgeous on it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny that you call him a disappointment because we were also talking earlier about like him doing animation like for his college degree and how his dad's disappointed. So it's kind of funny because now he has two people that are
Literally
disappointed
2
in
weeks ago, I went with my dad to go see Alice Cooper and Rob Zombie. We had a great time.
No, but he wasn't excited to hang out.
but he wasn't drawn.
Yeah.
No, but oh no, because one of the Rob Zombie songs, he's playing like they have all these screens with like the drum risers and shit, and they're just playing footage from like the Devilman OVA because the song has like the lyrics Devilman in it, and I had to explain to my dad what Devilman was. I was like, "Oh my god, it's fucking Devilman!"
So if you explain that to your dad, and I'm gonna say this pretty, I don't know, kind of gently, is he with us still? Did he hear you like anime? And he was like, and he like, you know.
As far as I know, he's still with us.
Okay, I was like making sure because like Kurt Cobain Tylenols are a thing, and I just want to make sure that your dad wasn't that disappointed.
I'm sorry, Fulgrim in the chat says your dad was totally phoning it in. No, the other funny part was we were driving through. We saw him in Camden. It's across the water from Philly, and I parked on the side of the street in like the ghetto was a black Mustang with the license plate to be near and with a Your Hus sticker on the back, and I parked up and smiled and like started giggling, and he's like, "What?" And I had to explain to my dad what Near Automata was.
What a fucking
You're like,
nerd.
Dad, do you know what sex robots are?
I'm like, "Dad, do you want to see the hottest robot you've ever seen in your life?"
That's when you showed him Stellar Blade, is what you did.
Well, she's not even a robot.
She's an android.
He's a fucking animated It's not a real robot.
Whatever.
She's
She
called an
still
android.
has a pussy.
Yeah, you show him that one, and then you're like, do you want to see the dirtier, even hotter version?
What did I show her?
On
Stellar
the
Blade?
third? No, on the third playthrough.
Oh yeah, A2. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you think she's hot? Wait till she lets her hair down and takes the blindfold off.
Yeah, wait till she lets her hair down and has been homeless for about 2 weeks.
Really
That's
lets her,
even
like,
marinate.
Marinate, yeah.
Yeah,
That's the
let her
the
stew.
desperation. That's what really sells it.
Let her stew before you crack her open.
Dude, that just reminds me of like there's a screenshot someone took of like one of the characters from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 getting in a bathtub like a hot spring, and they're just like, "Oh my god, Mithra's boots have been on for thousands of years. Imagine the smell. Oh god."
I do kind of want to touch on that, like that inflation adjusted price for the PlayStation 5 Plus or whatever the
Yes, Joe. Please let us know how good Sony's content tastes.
I don't agree with you like at all, A4. I think the fact is that we have been spoiled. They have been underpricing consoles for too long. I think that when you're talking about, I mean, you have basically two different ways to go. You either price for premium or you price for volume, and clearly Nintendo wants to price for volume, and PlayStation has to price for premium, and these things are not actually that cheap to manufacture, and they're probably like making more off the licensing and off the PlayStation Store than they are on that hardware. Like, all those costs have gone up since that PlayStation 5 initially launched.
I have
so
heard
it doesn't make any sense for those things to be any less expensive. They should be more expensive, not only for inflation, but for the technology and for like the increase in shipping costs over the years that aren't necessarily inflation related in and of themselves. There's just more costs when it comes to manufacturing overseas and then exporting that product to the various places they have to export them. I am in a position in the company I work for right now that I am pretty close to like how those types of decisions are made when it comes to manufacturing. Not that I make any of those things, but I just am really well aware of like all the issues, like all the pieces and all the things at play when it comes to pricing and stuff like that. And it's like, there's no way they're going to keep prices the same. Like, the fact that the video games themselves, I mean, we talked about this when we were in Seattle with Critital. It's like, the games themselves have been underpriced. Like, if you're going with inflation, yeah, they would be around $70 right now. That's how much $40 used to be.
Now, to your point.
Wait, real quick. Before you get into that, I just want to make sure.
We just have the old price in our head because we're older and we just remember.
I mean, also, not to spoil this, but I am not seeing our email where we're supposed to shill for PlayStation prices. And I know that we signed a waiver, but I don't see where I'm supposed to be.
No,
I knew about the Manscaped thing, but I didn't know about the PlayStation sponsorship.
But no, A4, you are wrong. I'm gonna go with Joe. It's perfectly priced for a Playstation product, and I love the Japanese. I wish Hiroshima never happened. But,
PlayStation's not a Japanese company anymore. But to Joe's point,
whatever.
To Joe's point, I have heard that they do sell these consoles at a loss, and they try to make it up with the software. But since the PS5 has no games, I guess they said, fuck it, we'll just get all our money from the console instead.
I want to make it the old way.
I mean, if you had a fucking company and you were like, okay, we have to spend, God, if you're printing like 4 million consoles, like, think about the fucking amount of money and probably credit that you're pulling into in order to like just manufacture those fucking things.
Look, I understand.
Like, that is a so if I were going in there and I were like the new fucking head of accounting, I'd be like, what the fuck are we doing here? Raise the prices.
Right.
No, what the fuck are we doing here?
They are not a Japanese company anymore. They're like,
how are they not? Are they really not? Shut up.
They're based they're based out of California. They have been for like.
What's more Japanese than California?
in the U.S., nothing.
Fucking no. No. If I was working at Sony and I was in charge of the manufacturing, if I had just dropped a game that lost us $100 million in 2 weeks, I would say, hey, maybe we don't need to do this mid-gen refresh that you can't tell the difference just by looking at it what the graphical upgrade is.
I mean,
because apparently the PS6, according to some articles I've seen, is already in development or like deep in development. So it's like, why even drop this thing?
Well, I said the same thing on the Pro, but then the PS5 got COVIDed, so I couldn't get the fucking... And then the Pro was gone, too, so I just had a bum PS4 for like a year. Well, but that was my reasoning, too, is like, well, I'm not going to buy a Pro.
That's the exact thing that happened to me. I almost bought
Well, the other thing, too, is like...
Pro.
I didn't hear anyone talk about the PS4 Pro after it came out. Like, no one was really singing the praises of, like, you need to get a PS4 Pro. It's so much better than
the only ones who got it were... It was similar to like why I got a PS5 because my PS4 broke. It was like the guys like Jake who didn't even have one yet.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, fuck, if I'm going to get one, I might as well get the Pro.
Yeah, and that makes sense. But like, I never heard anyone who had like a PS4 and then got a PS4 Pro or like whatever who was able to compare both, be like, oh my God, everything runs so much better on the PS4 Pro. And it probably does. But like...
Yeah, I was just kind of waiting for the 5. Like, there's no point. Or, I mean, I know, like, usually there's a price drop, or we've seen this in the past, the price drop with the slim version Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
But they don't. They, like,
It's a weird business move. I'm not gonna deny that.
right.
But the price is not really the issue. It's like the PS5 price was probably $100 too low on launch.
I think the
And
price for what you're getting
is what it
the
is
issue.
now.
I think people look at $700 and they see what, like, because that I don't know if you watched that showcase, but it was just 10 minutes of Mark Cerny sucking his own dick and going like, "Oh, the PS5 Pro is 45% more powerful than the." That doesn't mean anything to anyone. Don't tell me it's 45% more powerful. Show me.
Yeah, if it doesn't have exclusive games that have to run that way, then it doesn't make sense.
I mean
So,
that, but also like what I got out of that presentation was like basically the PS5 Pro is like, do you want to run the games in high graphics mode while also running them at 60 frames per second? We got you covered. Now you don't have to pick between those two.
I mean, consider if this is a business move, maybe you're only targeting, the 1 million people across the world that are gonna buy the premium version of the console.
Honestly,
So maybe this isn't for everyone.
I don't think it's for
that's what I
everyone.
would guess.
I don't think it's for everyone.
You don't make premium products for everyone. You make premium products for the rich. That's what you do.
For premium people.
You're very right, but like to your point, I don't think this thing is selling much more than like a couple million. I really would be shocked. I don't know what the sales numbers on the PS4.
Okay, a couple
the PS4
million
Pro are.
times $700.
I mean, yeah,
More
that's,
buy-in for those people so that they are going to be loyal to PlayStation.
it was just a very
A4, hurry and convert that to yen. How much is that in yen?
8,000 billion hundred. No, but like the it just seemed like a very odd decision to announce that mere days after you had like probably the biggest flop in their entire history. Like,
I don't think that those two things were connected.
though they weren't connected, but at some point someone had to go like, we just became the laughing stock of the internet. We cannot reveal that this thing costs $700 fucking dollars. Like, if that price was completely like non-negotiable, if that price is staying that price, and we can't move it. Maybe wait like a month. I don't know, because like it's launching in I think November or something. But like, yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like a really odd decision because like
Wait, it's coming out in November already?
I think
It's gonna be for the Christmas season. It's a smart move.
yeah.
Shit.
Like
Well,
this
like,
is
here's the
definitely
thing.
their big
Like,
holiday thing.
With our listeners, the very few that there are,
Thank you for
if
being
you don't have a PlayStation 5,
here. What are you?
are you
No,
gay?
just-
Does
Sorry, go ahead.
does the Pro entice you? Even being $700, do you think that's fair? Would you buy it? I mean, with the amount of games they have out on it, which I mean, A4 makes his stupid jokes because he's a jackass, but
Again,
I mean, he's right. There really isn't that many exclusives. So does it make it worth it to you? Would you buy it? Like, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I would if I didn't have my PlayStation 5. Maybe that's something where I'd be like, oh, it's the newest one. But again, I probably wouldn't because it's digital, and I do not want a full digital console.
oh, don't worry.
What you gotta say?
You can buy a disc drive for $80
Well,
extra.
I know, but that's what I'm seeing as well. Is people are hurrying and buying them. Like I've seen a ton of posts on like Twitter,
Yeah, apparently, like,
Instagram
sold out.
stuff. People are like buying these disc drives because they're like, I'm not gonna get like. There's people that are gonna buy the PS5 Pro with these people, and they're like, hey, I'm not gonna have to scalp to get this
Yeah.
this reader because it's gonna do it. And it's gonna be the same thing that happened with the PlayStation 5 when it first came out, unless they like are actively like not going to restrict sales like they did during COVID. I mean, maybe that was the plan. I don't know. Maybe it was to,
I remember-
PS5s to sell pros, but
I
you
mean,
can still get a
create a
PS5.
lot of you create a lot of buzz when you rarefy things. That's just like a business rule.
No,
Look
for
at Nintendo.
sure.
That's like their entire business practice. Hey, we're making the SNES Classic, and we're only making 30
Yeah.
of them. So
It used to
get
be
'em.
Disney's, and then they decided to go the opposite
Oh,
direction.
yeah, when
What's
Disney,
that
when
great
Disney was
market?
like, we're going to release
When they were-
Pinocchio again for
when
6
every
days.
movie of theirs was like a fucking masterpiece, that's what they were doing. But they just
They put it when they
decided
were
to
like,
stop
we're
doing
gonna-
that.
We're gonna put it in the vault when they used to do the VHS.
Yeah,
selection.
every
Like,
7 years.
Yeah.
You guys got to hurry up
They're
and
like-
the Little Mermaid 3 Ariel stubs her
going in
fucking
the
toe.
Disney vault. And I remember that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of Nintendo, they did say, I guess the rumor is October they're gonna reveal the Switch.
Oh, really? Okay.
You know what they should call it? They should call it the swap. And they bring back the Street Pass. The swap. That's what I would call it.
I was going to say, of all the features to bring back for a Switch successor, Street Pass might not have been the first one I'd pick, but I mean, I do like Street Pass.
Well,
Honestly,
I don't play the Switch, so I don't know what features it has other than non-functioning
It
controls
has
out of the
games on
box.
it.
Oh, sure,
think
yeah.
Nintendo-
PS2 games. Sure, it's got remasters of PS2,
PS2 games are
on
really
it.
fun, dude.
Yeah, it's a fucking Steam Deck, made in Japan.
I'm sorry, Fulgrim in the
So-
chat said Concord went in the PlayStation
Yeah.
vault.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah,
So Nintendo has the chance to do one of the funniest things they've ever done, ever, and just re-release the Wii U, but call it the Switch 2. Like, have it just look the exact same, and then just...
No, they call it the Switch U, and it looks like a Switch, but there's also like another Switch that you hold up in front of the TV.
So, like, yeah, it's a controller.
dude, the Switch already is the Wii U. They just fucking
Made it good.
sawed off the fucking edges of it.
Yeah.
Just redo it. It'd be
They
amazing.
were like, what if
It'd be amazing.
the tablet was the console? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
No, Nintendo has the chance to do the funniest thing possible because back when I think it was the Sega Saturn's price got revealed at like one of the E3s, and it was like $300 or $400, and then for Sony's when they came out to reveal the price of the PlayStation, the guy just walks out on stage and says $299, and then walks off stage, and Nintendo just goes like Switch 2 $300, peace, we out.
I don't know if they'd go 300. That's how much the Switch was.
I don't know. I'm not an analyst here. I'm just saying.
And I
that would
remember
be funny.
looking
I was
at the
gonna say,
Switch. I
if they
remember
went
looking
this-
at the Switch.
But
for
are we not
300 and, like,
analyzing A4?
I'm analyzing. I don't know what you guys are doing.
Oh my god.
I would assume Switch 2
Keeping
will
my
be
fingers to
$400.
myself.
Joe,
'Cause
you
I think
cannot
that's how
see
much
the Bat Dragon dildo I'm sitting on right now.
Yeah, but if he opens
I
his
can
mouth
imagine.
wide enough, you can see the tip of it.
No, the cum lube comes out of my mouth. I'm like, oh, excuse me, I don't know where that came from.
God.
I mean, that Concord situation's pretty fucking sad.
It's sad because, like, I'm not.
It was released. It was released way too late.
Well, that and like, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like, oh, I'm joyous that a game that cost that much money failed. It's just like, but they were.
Are you not?
No, but like because like people are going to lose their jobs over this shit. And I realized like last week or earlier this week, like Sony is going to learn the wrong mistakes from Concord's failure. They're not going to go, oh, we should stop hiring consultants to make sure that every character looks as bland and lame as possible. They're going to go, oh, original IPs don't sell. Fuck it, make like 5 new Horizon games and re-release The Last of Us 1 again because original IPs just fail apparently.
It's a bit of a risk, but then it's like, shouldn't they just fire the marketing team? Unless the game was like truly atrocious, it only had 1,000. Is this like 1,000 players on there?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know
dude, it was
that,
awful.
Yeah,
You know that was Sony. They don't commit suicide. They commit seppuku.
Well,
That's how the companies run.
I don't know. Sometimes it's like if you don't have a good launch, like your product's gonna have issues
was
like
just-
taking hold in the market, and so I
And it
would say
oversaturated.
this doesn't really necessarily mean anything except for they didn't oversaturated, sure, Zach, but it's more like how do you differentiate yourself from the other games in this category?
and
No,
that
for
is
sure.
by
That is number one, and you have to do that with the game itself and with the messaging of the game.
yeah.
And then they weren't. Like,
to
they
div-
didn't.
The problem is there's already a bunch of games where you play a bunch of bland, sexually confused characters, and it's called Overwatch.
Well, I was
and
gonna
then
say
the other
that-
one.
It's an Overwatch.
What's the
clone.
other one?
Apex Legends.
Apex Legends. Yeah, there's already 2 of those already.
dude,
so the
they're-
market.
Well, I know, and those games are like heavily like they're played on like on Valorant, right? Isn't Valorant the same kind of thing?
Sure,
Like-
probably no, but
I'm not sure.
the problem
on
is
Valorant.
the problem is this game was in development for 8 years, which if you roll back the clock, that starts at around 2016, aka the year Overwatch launched. So clearly they were like, "Oh, Overwatch is popular. We should make our own Overwatch. What else is popular right now? Guardians of the Galaxy. So let's make the game kind of like Overwatch meets great value Guardians of the Galaxy." And then, but like it's somewhere along the point, I really do think the fault is in the marketing team, or at least the consultants who came in and like sanded down all the characters to look as bland and ugly as possible, because like there have been
I don't know, A4. I've never bought a game because of the characters. designs, especially. Like, I've never once fucking done that. I've bought a game because people went like, this game is so fucking great. It's so fun.
I'm not saying
it's so addicting. You should play it, and then I buy a game.
I'm not saying that character's the only thing that sell a game, but
no one's ever been like the character design, dude. The character design. And then I go in there and I'm like, wow.
Again, I'll bring you back to Nier Automata, a game where
character design.
Nier Automata, I guarantee you, people came because of 2B's design and they stayed for the good story. But no,
I for sure came to 2B's design.
No, the thing with Concord is
I played Nier Automata because it was nominated on the show and then we played it, and I'm glad
exactly.
I did. Very good
but
game.
the thing they leaked, there have been leaked like concept art things for Concord of what like some of the characters used to look like, and they look more like stylized and like they have an actual personality to them. And I don't know. I think that
I never played League. I never played Dota because of that. I would have never played Overwatch because of the character design. It's like people are playing this because it's good.
You say that, but like what did draw me into Overwatch originally back when it first came out was the characters, because they had all these like different character trailers, which is clearly what Concord.
But that's smart. Yeah, that's
Concord was trying to copy that, because their like big thing was like, oh, each week we're going to have a new cinematic that shows off the characters in the world and fleshes everything out. And like I saw one of them, it's just a bunch of characters sitting in like the spaceship and talking, and it's just boring. Like there was nothing interesting. At least the Overwatch cinematics like had good like story through lines and good character moments, and like really kept you on the edge of your seat. Like you could, I think they did at some point, show those in like movie theaters as like little shorts. Like they were really well produced. But the Concord ones just like didn't have that same like secret spice where they're just like make you care about these characters. They're just a bunch of people with like vitiligo or fat people just standing around talking, going like, we got the outer rim, blah blah blah. And it's just like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, I mean, I honest to God, I have not played a game from the last 2 years, I don't think. Like, I own a couple. No, I played Call of Duty, the new one, like, for like 3 hours. That's it,
Final
dude.
Fantasy, what are you talking about?
It's just our podcast.
Oh, yeah, that was this year. I forgot about that.
He was obligated to play Final Fantasy. No.
That was like 120 hours.
Yeah, you know what? FF16's trailer did not do it for me. Honestly,
Yeah.
I wouldn't
do
have
it for me either.
If I wasn't already a Final Fantasy fan, if I wasn't already like baked into there, I would not have picked up that game.
Oh, dude, I was so excited for that trailer. I was fucking care.
Really? God damn! Am I taking crazy pills?
No, I wasn't really.
What
feeling
did
the
you do?
trailer either. Like I thought it was interesting, but like it wasn't enough to be
Trailers-
like, oh, that's a day one purchase. I was like, it's like a fantasy game. We'll see how it turns out.
Dude, I don't even watch trailers for like Resident Evil games or Final Fantasy games because I'm just gonna buy them anyway. So I'm like, I don't have time.
That's a good idea because I mean, yeah, I'm gonna buy them
Plus,
anyway.
I already played Resident Evil 4 like 5 times. I don't need to watch the Resident Evil 4 remake trailer.
I'm gonna give you like an example of how I eventually purchase games. Is like, I remember when BioShock came out. It was like 6 years from BioShock coming out to me actually playing BioShock. So it was like everybody was talking about BioShock. I'm like, this game sounds good. And then BioShock was on sale, and I bought it for like $20.
Yeah, but you're not like.
And then I played it, and it was fucking great.
Yeah, but you're not like a gamer. You're not like the peak demographic of what like they're marketing towards.
Yeah, I guess not, but it was the same with like if we're talking about a game with like a bunch of characters that you play, I guess League of Legends is probably my closest thing to that. And all it was like I saw this fucking Dota like copy on Caleb's laptop and he was fucking addicted to the game. And then eventually I tried it. And then eventually after playing it for a couple hours, I started getting addicted to it because the game was good.
Well, yeah.
Like that's all it is. It's like if this game had come out and it kicked, or maybe they should have just put it out in beta test for free. Maybe they did, and maybe I'm just unaware of this. And there was other problems with it. But if this game came out and it was like, oh, it's way faster than Overwatch. Like it's addictingly fast. Like it's the same game, but this and this. Then it could have made like a good competitor in that sort of market.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
And then word of mouth could have gotten around, and it could have probably taken off from there.
Yeah.
If it just launches, only 1,000 people play it, and they're not fucking going to their friends and being like, "This thing is kicking ass, it's addicting, it's even better than the games that it's kind of like, then it doesn't really have that much of a shot.
I'm not going to sit
unless
here...
the marketing is really good.
I'm not going to sit here and pretend that like if the character designs were better, that this game would have succeeded. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I think it would need a good gameplay loop or gameplay gimmick, like being a faster Overwatch or something like that. But like, I think it would have helped. Aesthetics do help at a certain point. Like, and again,
They do.
Not to bring up the horny fucking angle, but like when you look up the top like video game characters that people search for in sites like that, like it's always Overwatch characters. I mean, just the amount of merch that got made for Overwatch characters. Like I've bought my wife when she was way in Overwatch. I bought her like these little blind bag figurines of different Overwatch characters, and like she got like the robot, like Bastion, and it's still like recognizable as that character from the game, even though it's just like kind of a series of cubes with like a fucking gun on its arm. Like,
I can get behind that a bit, but I feel like that's secondary to the gameplay.
yes.
So if the game was no good, no one would give a fuck.
Yes, I agree. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like the aesthetics are the number one thing, but I think it was just because this game was so like none of those characters looked like they had any personality to them. They were all very safely designed, but like still oversaturated, like where they were like it was like all superficial, like, oh look, this person's wearing like a crazy light blue jacket and they have like half a shaved head, and it's like that's not like a character though. Like what's their whole deal? And then you watch the cinematics and like they don't have anything going on character wise. Like the one guy's just like a rip off of Drax, where he's just like talking literally about everything, and it's like, okay, cool, great, I guess, but like what's getting me invested here? Like give me something different, give me something new.
What they did, they grabbed like a random assortment of Antifa members and they just took the masks off and they made them the characters. That's all they did for this game, as far as I could tell.
Dude, not to get too far in the weeds on this, but Schweiss, have you seen any footage from that game, Dustborn or whatever? It's like an indie game where you play as like a bunch of like liberals in like a band and like in like a different, like an alternate reality America where like everything's owned by like the Republic or whatever. And
I've seen something about that.
Yeah, like
it was it was something.
There's literally a gameplay mechanic where like you can cancel people, and there's like a gameplay mechanic where you like are talking to somebody and then you like hit a triangle to get triggered, and then you call them racist. Like it's almost parody. It's hilarious.
You know, I remember seeing that, and people were getting like bothered, like, oh, it's. But I was like, I think it might be making fun of all of that. Like, I don't think it's like
fun of it. I think it might be genuine, but it's still hilarious nonetheless. I just like,
yeah.
But yeah, like
it's like Uwe Boll. It's like he's trying, but he's just not landing. Like
he's throwing the axe really hard. It is not hitting the target at all. In fact, it hit another patron of the axe throwing bar. But
yeah, no, it bounced back. It bounced back and hit him. Like.
Speaking of hits, Chicken Coop is out on October 1st.
Yes.
To buy or to rent. For more information, check out our Linktree link in Instagram.com/chickencoopmovie or Facebook.com/chickencoopmovie, and you can there should be direct links to buy or rent the movie in that link when that exists. So I will plug this movie at least 5 times today, so get ready.
Yeah, it's good.
October
it's
1st, good. Chicken Coop.
Nude Clan is not sponsored by Manscaped. We're sponsored by Chicken
only
Coop.
Won. That's right. We've only won like 20 awards.
Nothing.
Joe's mom did award the shit out of this movie.
Yeah, you haven't even received my reward.
Choice, best Utah film,
least diverse cast.
We've won. We've won. We've won.
Actually, yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I was just taking a shot in the dark there, but I kind of figured.
Everybody's white. There is a woman.
Won an entire
it's
film.
A bullet
festival.
Point on the back of the DVD case. There is a woman in this movie.
Yeah. And man, is she ever?
Joe, Fulgrim's asking what the movie's about in the chat.
Oh, why? It is. Get ready for the emotional journey of Chicken Coop arriving on October 1st. Just before Christmas, a young lawyer returns home to reconcile with his estranged father. What begins as a simple repair project uncovers hidden secrets that will change everything. Can they rebuild their family before it's too late? Watch the family drama unfold on October 1st.
Yeah, you haven't even received my award yet, the least bad Joe movie ever award.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Don't you have a cameo
least
in this movie or
bad
something?
Joe
Twice?
movie.
Yeah, I'm in there. No, I mean the first one's not bad. It's just a short film.
I mean, that's not even my first short film, so it's like I don't know.
It's
the
better.
30th one isn't too bad, is what you should be saying there.
Here's the thing: nothing will ever be Brokeback Bakery.
I was going to say it's no Brokeback Bakery.
Nothing will ever be Brokeback Bakery. Nothing will.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Joe. Like,
that's just your opinion, man. But until you purchase Chicken Coop on October 1st, 2024, you don't really have nothing to stand on when it comes to that.
Listen, with all due respect, if I don't watch Chicken Coop, then Brokeback Bakery remains
the best
my favorite Joseph Nicolia movie.
Note's pretty funny.
I like Note a lot.
Which one was? I think. Did you guys show me that one? Because you guys showed me a few.
Note's the one that's like Hans Zimmer, the fucking trailer music that was in all the trailers.
That one was really funny too. I do remember that.
I like Cat. I like Cat quite a bit. Where Caleb is looking for his keys, and he almost kills his cat doing it.
What is it with you guys and killing cats?
We got Haitian in our blood. They're eating the pets. They're eating the pets.
Oh my god, that was a slam dunk.
Are we gonna get flagged for misinformation or something?
I don't know. I mean, I saw a video of a guy walking away with a goose, but then I was like, "How the fuck did he kill that goose? Geese are scary."
I mean, it just depends on what.
Like Jesus,
you know what's scarier than geese? Haitians.
I mean, my wife really didn't like this when I brought this up, but. Isn't it a little arbitrary, like what animals we decide are food and what animals we decide are pets?
No, because there's like a famous PETA billboard that's like it shows a bunch of animals and it's like
where do you draw the line?
You draw the line. I'm like right about here actually, right?
Yeah.
Right after horse. Like that's.
Yeah, it's like that's in the PETA one. It's like right about there. That's about right.
Yeah.
Have you seen the one? Yeah, is it like cut it up and it's like normal situations, like apocalyptic situations, and it like has like the line through it, and it's like
and then there's a new one. It's like normal apocalypse and then Haitian. It's like even further over to the side.
I don't know. Like I'm not really. I guess the dumber the animal is, the less guilty you feel. Like a fish, you're like, fuck this fish, dude. Or like a crab that like eats its own babies and shit. You're like, yeah, fuck this crab. Like, I'll eat this crab.
You say that, but I actively know or knew because I don't talk to her because I don't work with her anymore. She was I can't remember. I think she was.
My wife just said no one's gonna feel bad with me.
Joe, all I want to say is that there are definitely dogs out there that are smarter
comeback.
than the mentally infirmed. So would you eat a mentally infirmed person?
I mean, how much?
Well, no, we're
look,
going species average.
If we had to eat either a normal person or a mentally infirm person, probably.
Yeah, but then
if those were the two, if it was a menu of two items, one normal, one not quite there.
Look,
I mean,
all I'm saying is if you got to eat a retarded
not
person,
not quite there might be stronger than you, so you need to like fight accordingly.
That's why you got to get rid of them. They're scary.
If you've got to eat a retarded person, you got to cook them really good because otherwise you're going to catch it.
Oh yeah, that's true,
dude.
That bonus chromosome will wriggle in.
I'm not on board with this. With this train of thought here.
Oh, I wasn't, but then thinking about it made me laugh. Oh.
Just say it. If it was those two options,
that would have been
then
the
yeah,
worst
probably.
apocalypse. It's just like Bill got bit, and he's like,
Anyway, I gotta.
I'm just saying if I'm gonna die, I'm in a cave with 3 people, and I gotta eat either my wife or someone with a double-digit IQ. Sorry, Gumpy, you're dead. Like,
I mean, is that just because it's your wife, bro?
I would choose the A4's wife too. I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
The joke is they're the same one.
Yeah.
Because they're the same.
Good God.
No, I am easily half the IQ my wife has. So,
but seriously, where do you draw the line on which animals are like? You know, we don't feel bad eating this one.
Let's see: chicken, pig, cow.
Chickens
when
are
they say
stupid. Cows are stupid, and they're stupid because humans have bred them to be that way.
Okay, well, scale issue on their part. Pigs are smart, but I don't care because bacon's good.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue sentience, because like we don't like killing dolphins, and they're like
I know, but
pretty
you
smart.
have mahi-mahi in Hawaii, and that's a type of dolphin.
If dolphins weren't as hard to catch, we would absolutely be eating dolphin fillet.
I mean, octopi are super smart, but we eat them.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not smart enough. Like they can open jars, but come on. Like
8 legs and you
That's
can't
pretty
do your own
cool.
fucking taxes. Come on.
I mean,
dude.
I guess no one ever. I guess dogs can kind of talk. You're like talk.
Yeah, but
And
dogs
then
are also
parrots
cute.
talk.
I will be
and we
right
don't
back.
usually eat parrots. So
well, when other
is it
countries
when they
eat,
can talk?
I think when they eat wild dogs, they don't. It's not like pet dogs. It's like fucking. It's like dogs in the wild, like in these fucking arid areas of the world. They just have like.
But it's
It's not
still
like quite coyotes, but it's something kind of like a fucking coyote or a fucking whatever those guys in Lion King are, the bad ones. What are those fuckers called? The hyenas. Yeah, it's like those are like wild dogs. So those
I never
like
I never had the guts to be this crass to a person in my writers group who went to South Korea to do a short documentary as like a school project about the dog meat industry. And they said they were so disgusted by it, but I never had the balls to be like, well, aren't you just being like xenophobic? That's just part of their culture is what I
See, that's
want
like a joke
to
I
say.
would pull out.
But it's like it's half a joke. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Clearly, they don't see dogs in the same way we do. And for some cultures, it's like cows are sacred too. So I'm not saying it's right. I would never eat a dog. But I can see the argument.
Look, the whole
I mean,
I will play
underlying-
devil's advocate.
The underlining thing behind this whole
little
thing that
bit.
everyone forgets because they're like, oh, which animal would you eat? It doesn't matter what animal you would eat. I think the underlining thing is that there are certain cultures that are wildly different from our own. And when you deposit 1/3 of that place's population into a place of violently different culture, some fireworks are going to go off. so
I
to
think
speak.
I'm more concerned about like how the animals are treated when they're killed. So I think it's not only that they eat dogs, but they're also not too kind to the dogs that they are, putting up for meat. So I think I have more of a problem with like a clean death for an animal than I have a problem with like which animal is big.
Joe's okay with eating dogs, but as long as it's ethical.
I'm not
Yeah,
okay
you gotta-
with eating dog. I agree. There's too much sentience there. Like I can see a personality in a dog that you don't really see with a cow. Like the cow has been bred to just eat and move around and all what? What was that, babe? Do you want to chime in?
They can be very
delicious.
Look, I'm saying
She said "fuck you" and then pushed the microphone away.
there are some cows that can be very adorable, like Jersey cows, but no cow is as cute as steak is delicious. So
The Highland cow's really cute too, but fuck, a prime rib? No, yeah, steak. Sorry.
So she only believes in killing uneducated cows.
Oh, I mean, I believe in only killing like racist cows. So it's like the same thing, right?
Yeah, like the ones that for Chick-fil-A. Kill those.
Yeah, they're Nazis.
eat more chicken, also same-sex marriage is what their fucking sandwich board says.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm surprised there's not like eat more gays. Like one of those signs.
Well, you don't want to eat
wow.
like with the example I gave before.
Wow, they're really going hard with that messaging over it.
With the example I gave before, if you got to eat a gay guy, you really want to cook him so that you don't catch that shit because it's like fugu or fugu. Whatever the
I'm glad.
is.
I'm glad only like 3 people watch this channel so that we don't get fucking booted off of that shit.
I think that's a hilarious idea for a zombie apocalypse movie, Zach. Like, it's not. It's like the Atartalips or something. We got to come up with some kind of like fucking like you get bit and you just like you get the extra chromosome, and it's like, oh my god! It's instead of zombies, it's like everyone's retarded.
Dude, that is a 1999 comedy right there.
Starring
That
Pauly
should be
Shore
made.
or something.
Schweiss, if they ever
Why's
make
everybody so
time travel-
retarded at
It's
it?
starring someone from Jackass. Someone
Dude,
from
oh my
Jackass.
God, that'll be
Johnny Knoxville is.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny Knoxville was
Last
already in a
chromosome
movie where
candy.
he was like
The
in the
Ringer?
Special Olympics. Yeah,
The Ringer's so fucking funny.
The Ringer is great.
It's a
and
great
The Ringer
movie.
has its heart in the right place.
Yes, it
I
does.
don't
Yes, it
I don't
does.
think there's anything wrong with The Ringer.
no, I'm not trying to
Dude.
say there is. I'm just saying, like, if
so-
we're gonna pick one Jackass member to be in a theoretical retard zombie movie, I think Johnny Knoxville's the go-to.
Steve-O's a good second on there.
Steve-O's already
no.
retarded.
He should be one of the. No, Steve.
He's like, oh, you gotta blend in, Johnny. You gotta blend in. Like, Steve-O, I can't.
and staple bananas to my ass.
Yeah, they don't know the difference.
So I'm gonna make a pact with Schweiss that if time travel ever becomes a thing, we don't kill Hitler. We don't change the world in any meaningful way. We go back to 1990 and we pitch this movie.
That is changing the world in a meaningful way.
We make millions.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
most
that's so
offensive movie of all time.
We come back to 2024 and there's like floating buildings and flying cars and shit. It's like all those pictures where it's just like society
Honestly,
is blank
I
happening.
want to see the trailer because
We did it.
I want to have like the voiceover man, just the deep voice.
Dude, I already have
Everyone's IQ is double digit.
one man.
Five Finger Death Punch is the most listened to band in the world.
Did you hear the one about zombie retard apocalypse?
One man, Johnny Knoxville, must blend in order to find the cure.
Oh wait, I have an idea for. Oh man, how many chromosomes are you supposed to have? I don't.
I like
23.
I like
So what if we call it 24 chromosomes later?
Oh shit.
Oh,
I'm actually mad now that time travel doesn't exist, so we can't make this.
I want to see that scene where fucking where what's his face is like looking up and like the dude the from that movie and like the blood gets in his eye, but instead it's just some guy drooling. And it gets in his eye and he just starts like flapping his hands around it. It was like, oh no! Oh my god!
The whole scene from the second movie where he like leaves his family to die would be so much better if it was all just
Yeah.
Joe, I hate to break it to you, but we're going to have exactly one YouTube short on our YouTube channel, and it's going to be this.
Yeah.
Should we call the episode 24 chromosomes later instead of the Borderlands review?
all right.
I mean, when you think about it, the movie was kind of about Kate Blanchett going to a fucking planet full of retarded people. So.
Yeah, kinda, yeah.
Well, if we're in the spirit of getting back on task, what has everyone been playing this
What has everyone been playing for the
2.5
past half a year?
months?
Yeah.
A4, how about you? Why don't you just rail off 90 fucking games right now?
I'm not going to rail
Make
off.
sure you do this in as much detail as possible
I'm not
so I
gonna
can go to the bathroom, come back, and nothing will have
Well, if
changed.
you insist, sir. I did play a really cool game called Tunic. It came out a couple years
Wait,
ago.
real quick. I like how Joe told you to say what you were playing and then immediately just walked away.
He wasn't going to care anyway. He's like, look, video games? Fuck this. I would rather watch a movie about a bunch of people eating each other in excruciating detail. No, I played a cool game called Tunic, which is a game where you play as like a little fox, and it's kind of overhead view like the original Legend of Zelda, but from an isometric, like, 3/4 perspective. But the gimmick of this game, without spoiling too much, is that as you go through the game, you find pieces of the game's instruction manual, and it's all written in like this like fantasy language full of like these different runes, but some of the stuff is in English. So it comes down to like you find these instruction pages, and as you do, you sort of like parse different things you can do in the game based on that. And I really don't want to spoil too much because like the sense of discovery in that game is incredible, to the point where if I had actually played this in 2022 when it came out, it might have been my game of the year. It's really fucking good. I highly recommend people look up Tunic and play it. I don't know if it's on like PlayStation Plus or whatever. I think it's on Game Pass because it was an Xbox exclusive, but I played it on the Switch. And it's got like Dark Souls DNA because like it's set up like Legend of Zelda, but it's kind of got like Dark Souls combat in it.
Is it like the little fox?
Yeah, it's absolutely fucking fantastic.
I knew you were a furry.
Yeah, I was waiting for that. But no, Tunic is really fucking good. I've also been playing the PS5 game, Astrobot, the only PS5 game.
You got it?
Yeah, I've already platinumed it and completed it. It's amazing.
Oh, fuck yeah. How long is it?
It took me about 18 hours to do everything, according to the little clock at the bottom of my PS5 menu.
Oh, that's definitely on my list for sure.
It's really good. There are people who are claiming it's a Game of the Year contender. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but it's really.
I mean,
good.
what else has come out?
I mean, honestly, you got a point. But like, it's really solid. Like they just, they let the remnants.
No, I'm kidding. Rebirth is an incredible game.
I do want to. I have to go. I'm currently going through the episode intermission.
Have you started the mini game? Did you play it?
Fort Condor?
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. I was so glad to see it back.
It's so fucking fun.
I was like, FF7 remake. I'm playing the Yuffie DLC, and Fort Condor, which was a mini game in Final Fantasy VII, comes back in that as like a mini game. It's basically that game's version of Queen's Blood or whatever the card game is called in Rebirth. But
no, Rebirth has that too.
Oh, it has Fort Condor in it too. Oh, sweet.
Yeah, fuck yeah,
good,
dude.
Good, because
Rebirth has like 1 million hours of shit.
Dude, I really like what they did with Fort Condor in the Yuffie DLC. So
I know it's fucking sweet, man. That was like my favorite part about that game. I was like, oh hell yeah! I don't want to play the story. I want to play this fucking mini game.
And playing as Yuffie is fun too. At least for this first like DLC thing that I'm doing.
Yeah,
and it's weird.
In Rebirth, she's super OP too.
Right. It's also weird playing this game on a PS5, like having the PS5 exclusive things where like I collect the Happy Turtle poster, and the first time I did that, it starts playing the Happy Turtle jingle out of my controller, and I fucking jumped out of my skin. I was like, "What the fuck?"
You didn't know this was a horror game?
No.
Yeah.
It's like when Cameron played Oculus Strip, and then he turned around, those characters like right in his face. It's like it's not a horror game at all. But
Oculus Strip, aka the best game ever made.
I just remember the first time I like jumped at a video game ever was when I had the original Doom, and my parents like, oh, it looks satanic, but I guess I'll let you buy it for $10. It was like the Doom collection or whatever on PC.
Yeah, the Xbox. Yeah.
And then no, not the one that came out later, but earlier.
Right.
And I was playing like Doom, and I couldn't find like the next guy to kill to get. I couldn't like find the next area. I was lost. And I just remember one of those like one of those like little growl things out of fucking nowhere, and I screamed. I was like,
Yeah.
And nothing in a video game has ever scared me like that, except for maybe sometimes when we play Devour. That fucking ooh.
I guess they're releasing a new map soon, the Manor or something.
Yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. I think it's out. It's either out now or it's out like real soon.
Mm-hmm.
God.
But yeah, Astrobot.
Can't wait.
Astrobot's fucking phenomenal. Really fucking fun. Really solid game. Again, not gonna blow anyone away in terms of like graphics or whatever. But instead of having like the fucking like super realistic graphics that most PlayStation games have nowadays, like it's all stylized, but like there is so much tiny little physics objects littered around like a lot of these levels where like as you run through. Like, it's like an ice cream world, and, like, there's just a million fucking sprinkles all around. And, like, it's not that impressive after, like, the first couple times you see it, but, like, the fact that the game just runs at, like, an unbreakable 60 FPS is, like, and just has all this, like, little shit flying around is great. And it's just...
I love shit.
Yeah. And I think there are, like, little robot enemies that are, like, little turds that, like, latch onto you and explode, and you have to, like, spin to get them off. But, people have said it, but like the level of creativity in Astrobot is like pretty comparable to what like Nintendo does with like the best Mario stuff. So yeah, if you're looking for like a really good 3D platformer, or a good family game, Astrobot is like 10 out of 10.
Never looking for a 3D platformer ever. I don't understand.
Joe hates.
Oh man, dude.
Yeah,
platformers are probably my least favorite. genre.
then you would fucking hate this game because it's fun as shit. And the other great thing about Astrobot is like you're rescuing all these little bots, but like every like 2 or 3 of them that you rescue is like a reference to a character from a PlayStation franchise or like something that was like made famous on the PlayStation, and they get into some fucking deep cuts. Like it's not just like first party shit. Like I think in like the second level you rescue like Solid Snake and Psycho Mantis and stuff, but then like there's like deep ass cuts in there. Like I got fucking Mr. Mosquito in there, and I'm like, okay,
Oh, nice.
we are cooking with oil now. So yeah, it's this absolutely adorable love letter to like PlayStation's entire history, which is hilarious considering it came out on the same day as Concord going offline. Yeah, I really, really like that game. That's mostly what I've been playing over the past few weeks, was just completing Astrobot.
Sweet. Is that it? Have you been toning down your
No, I've been playing a bunch of other shit, but it's not like we're talking about. Like I just started playing fucking Simpsons Hit and Run. So like, what do you want me?
Oh, what? That's an amazing game.
It's an amazing game, but like, what do you want me to say? Like, yeah, it's a Simpsons Hit and Run. It's fucking fun as shit.
Oh wait, never mind. I've never played that one. I played Road Rage.
Yeah,
I want you to say it's Conan Exiles. That's what I want you to fucking say.
I need to get back into Conan Exiles. I actually just re-upped my PlayStation Plus because like the 3 months ran out. So I was
I accidentally bought a year, so I haven't.
I
for
did
a
the same.
while.
I did the same.
I'm paying for the cheap tier
No,
that I can just play online. It's like $10 a month or something.
I'm paying for the cheap tier, but almost for like the next 3 months that I have it, I almost want to bump it up to the big tier so I can try out the classics. Because I saw that's like a feature where it's like, oh, you can play like Ape Escape and a bunch of other shit. I'm like, I don't really need this, but like I'd like to at least try it.
We call that an upsell.
It is an upsell.
I know you're not a business guy, but that's what we call it.
No, it's absolutely
true,
an upsell, but it's just like, I got the PS5 now. I guess I might as well give it a fucking shot. Because
That's how they get you, dude. That's 100% how they get
no,
you.
you know how they get, you know how they'll get me, and how they'll probably get twice on that shit too. Is you can earn trophies in certain classic games now.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Yeah, that's scary. I don't want to look.
but yeah, when I said earlier that I technically played Horizon, the end of every world in Astrobot, you rescue a character from a PlayStation franchise, and then you get to play like a whole level based on that franchise. Like there's a God of War one that's fucking great, but the last world, I get to the end and I'm like, I haven't rescued an Aloy bot yet, and they had a bow mechanic in the Astrobot game that came on the PS5 that they have not used yet. Oh no, and it's a Horizon Zero Dawn level, and I'm just going through like, I guess these are characters I wouldn't know, so that was sad.
Yeah, did Astro's cheeks clap like mad when he was going through the brush?
No, it was like the first time I looked at Aloy and I'm like, that's kind of cute. She's like saving a little bunny rabbit. That's neat. But like a lot of the other, like there's a great Uncharted level in there. The God of War one's great. I sent you guys the link, but the music.
There's a Bloodborne level too, right?
No, but
I saw a thing that had the Bloodborne guy.
You can get a Bloodborne outfit and you can rescue.
Oh, that sucks. That's one of the best games on PlayStation.
Speaking of things that don't suck, Chicken Coop, October 1st, 2024.
And
buy or rent. And Instagram.com/Chicken Coop Movie. Just check the link in the description. See where you can get that on October 1st. Speaking of things that don't suck. Okay, keep going.
Well, I was just going to say that I sent you guys the link, but the music in the God of War level, like right before it gets to the main melody, there's like it's like boy, like it has a nice boy sample in there. It made me laugh.
Nice.
So like it made me literally laugh out loud. I was like, that's awesome. That's great.
Speaking of great father-son stories, Chicken Coop, October 1st. Buy or rent. Link in the description, Instagram.com/Chicken Coop Movie or Facebook.com/Chicken Coop Movie for more information. You know what? I'll probably just put it in the description of this episode. But
you should. October
we know
2nd,
you will.
Pirate Bay. Chicken Coop, Pirate Bay. Download it.
No, man, dude, they're doing copyright strikes on that shit because we had some YouTube clips.
It's not going to matter. You're not going to find any
took it down
seeders
from my own fucking channel.
You're not going to find any seeders for Chicken Coop on Pirate Bay.
They took your own movie down from your own channel.
They did, and then I appealed and I got it. But it was like
you're like, this is mine.
It's
like,
yeah,
okay.
I did. I said I own the copyright to this.
Dude,
do you know who the fuck I am?
There's like content farms that will just do that. They'll just like copyright claim everything, and they'll be like, there'll be artists that'll be like, I own this. This is my song. Like, just because some other fucking company, like,
Well, yeah, a company hires another company to do that. Like, that's their service.
yeah,
And they don't know all the safety links, and so that has to be negotiated. So
yeah.
I don't know. I'm fine with it. That means they're protecting the movie. Because fuck Pirate Bay, make sure you buy or rent legally Chicken Coop on October 1st, 2024.
And make
What's
sure you,
the price? How much is it going to be?
Yeah, how much is it gonna
I
be?
have no idea.
And remember, dear listeners, hey, Joe.
Whatever
loves
it is worth it.
Yeah, Joe loves inflation. So, dear listeners, know that whatever you're paying is
whatever
exactly what.
whatever Chicken Coop costs, make sure to spend probably double or triple that to buy Astrobot on the PS5 because it is fantastic.
Dear
Or
gentlemen,
you could double it and buy Borderlands, the movie.
That's true. All-star cast.
Yeah, that's
You can
for
also
sure.
still buy the 13th Cross if you want. That's available everywhere.
Is that all you've been playing, A4?
I mean,
More or less?
yeah, more or less. Those are the highlights.
All right. What about you, Zach? What have you been doing for the last 6 months?
Oh, 6 months. A ton of Conan Exiles.
Hell yeah, that's good.
Love Conan Exiles. It's rare. Hurts me to say it every time I do because I didn't want to like this game, and I do. I fucking love this game.
Conan Exiles is like a rough lover. It'll fuck you till you love it.
Yeah, I mean, every host that's ever been on the show loves that game. So
It's fun. It's fucking awesome. So tons of Conan Exiles. Played Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Shredder's Revenge, which is fucking rad. Final Fantasy 16. Played some Final Fantasy 16. Played Space Marine 2 because that came out.
Oh yeah, you're one of those people.
Oh brother,
You're one of those Warhammer
fantastic.
guys.
Oh, it's so fun. It was fun.
I heard it's good.
I've enjoyed it. I haven't played multiplayer yet, but I need to. Played some Unicorn Overlord.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
I need to boot that thing. I'm still going through.
It's fucking sick.
I'm still going through Paper Mario, so like
It's that's on my list too. Unicorn Overlord's been dope so far, but there's so many fucking characters you can get that's really all I've been doing. I've done pretty much all the side missions I can run into to like level up, and it's been kind of rough because I need to continue with the story. But that's been super dope. What else? There's more.
Wait, there's more.
Played some Stellar Blade. Picked that up. Stellar Blade is
how many times did you come?
a lot. No, I've only played it like
how many liters?
2 liters. Probably Canada.
I got a liter come.
Fuck, I feel like there was another one, but I can't think of it. So
Everyone go watch Super Troopers, by the way. It's a great movie.
the second one isn't as good, but it makes me laugh.
Did anyone expect Super Troopers 2 to be any good?
Because Beer Fest is good and funny.
Oh, they made Beer Fest? I didn't know that.
Beer Fest has been a movie they made forever.
No, I've never seen Beer Fest. I've only ever seen Super Troopers. I didn't realize Beer Fest was a Broken Lizard thing.
It is, yeah. Beer Fest.
Nice. That's going on my list.
Yeah,
then.
so Beer Fest is funny. Watch it on here so I can watch it with you.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Fuck, I think that's it. I feel like there's another game, but I don't remember. So, yeah.
All right, sounds good. Joe, what about you?
Oh man, wow, the gaming. The gaming.
That should be our show's tagline. Oh man, wow, the gaming.
I actually, I mean, since we were on this last, I have played some games. It was mostly Bravely Default 2 and Conan Exiles. In fact, it was probably only those 2 games.
Oh, did you jump back into Exiles then?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sick.
When Caleb and I were talking about getting on, we got on last week. If you read the chat, you would have seen that.
I knew.
I was watching another podcast I like fall apart, so sorry.
Anyway,
don't worry about it. Anyway,
so we got in there and played a little bit of Conan Exiles. Mostly, I just want to be able for one fucking night have all 4 of us in there and ready to fucking go. Because I swear
tomorrow we can nail it.
All that's happened is that I've gone in and Caleb's been in there, or I've gone in and you guys have been in there and we're waiting on Caleb, and then Caleb never fucking shows up, and then I'm like, well, fuck this, I got better things to do. And so yeah, I'm here to talk about it. I'm here for the drama.
That sounds about right.
I think tomorrow we can nail it. I think we could all hop in and like defeat the Lich King or whatever.
Oh, see, now I'm working late tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
that's why we had to do it today.
I thought he said tomorrow was good.
Motherfucker.
No, he said
Tuesday nights at 6:30. Just clear the calendar so that we can do this shit.
Next week we'll go and we'll clear some of these bosses out.
And then Caleb will, as soon as we make a plan, Caleb will switch his work schedule, and then it will all be out the fucking window.
God, sorry. True. Now I work every 3 hours and I'm off every 4.
Yeah. And then I'll go back to normal. It's like which one's normal? I don't know. You've switched your work schedule 12 times.
Bro, I fucking cackled out loud when I saw what's normal, and I was thinking the exact same fucking thing.
Yeah. Well, this is the 9th time we've had this conversation where Caleb's like, well, this switch. I'm like, I don't know what baseline is.
Well,
you switch it every 3 months. I don't know what it is.
It's probably gonna.
Isn't it 2 to 10? And you have Sunday and Monday off? It's like, no, that was 6 months ago.
Yeah, it's probably going to change again.
God, fuck.
In like another month and a half.
Well, I'm gonna rush, right?
No, the guy that works at 7:30 at night, I'm going to take his spot, I hope. And I'll have Monday and Tuesday off again, which is what I used to have for years and years.
I like how...
So I will... I'll truly go back to the original.
Schweiss isn't moving up the ladder; he's just moving laterally. Like he's climbing onto a different ladder, but side to
shoots
side.
And ladders. He's playing shoots and ladders. He's like, ooh, Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
No, he's playing.
And then he just continually.
He's playing snakes and ladders, but the one snake is just an Ouroboros, so he just keeps going in a fucking circle.
Yeah, I love Ouroboros references. Yeah, that's what I've been playing. Just a little bit of a Conan Exiles. I'm ready for you guys to go in there, get final items for the final bosses, and let's fucking let's fucking do this thing. I mean, all I want to do. I played a lot of this game a few months ago, probably now a year and a half ago. I don't know how fucking long I've been waiting on you guys.
What year is it?
But since I've been max level for forever, but. I would like to get all of the teleports activated, which I don't have. I think I have like half of them. And then I'd like to go beat the game. So we got to kill all the story bosses. And so that's what I'm in there for. So when I hop in there, let's go fucking kill some shit. And maybe get some teleports.
All right, so next week, you heard it here, we're going to go in the volcano, bring lots of ice.
And we also have to figure I have now gone to the opposite land that I was before. Gaming is now one night a week. Okay? So it has to fucking count. I don't like to go in there and be like, yeah, well, I'll get in there. And then no one comes in here for 3 hours. That's gonna really piss me off. So I would appreciate some if you say the day that you're gonna fucking get on at the time.
I would hate to have Joe pissed off.
Me and Zach
I would really
stop
appreciate
secretly
that.
making out. We're gonna schedule aside some Conan time.
For Joe, for Joseph de Gaulier,
Thank
the
you.
third. I will
Speaking of for Joe, you can support Joe by watching Chicken Coop on October 1st, 2024. Link in the description of the
October 2nd, I will be releasing it on Pornhub.
Wait,
so you can watch it there for free.
You're going to have to send me that link then, because I'm going to have to put that in the description of the episode.
Pornhub, you got to add some money shots in there.
It'll be like the one we have for Schweiss on the channel where all those Russian guys thought he was gay and was gonna his tail.
I'll put the link in the description. It'll be a bit.ly link, but it'll just lead to Overwatch diva porn.
Fucking, that'd be funny.
There's Chicken Coop.
I remember that I played Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as well. Sorry.
Oh shit! What do you think so far?
I fucking love it,
dude. It's fucking
And it's-
great, isn't it?
Did I tell you guys
so
I played through the first chapter?
No.
I did. I just to see what the improvements were on PS5. Like I like the little subtle like controller rumble and like the sound effect when you open up chests and stuff. And then they have like the trigger pressure shit. Like when spoilers, Cloud is crawling through burning Nibelheim after Sephiroth sets everything on fire. That was neat.
Oh, it's neat.
Yeah.
I just got
it's
Pico.
cool.
I just got Pico, so I'm ready to go across the swamp.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Pico de Gallo is always, it's always good. It's good.
I'm
on
more
most
of like a
It really is. You are correct.
I'm more of like a Tomatillo kind of guy.
Ooh, Tomatillo's fucking bomb as shit.
Schweiss, what have you been playing?
Man, I played about 45 minutes of Diablo 1 on PS1 as Joe and I were traveling to go see Metallica, and then
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
me and
that was
Krenital
guys-
died, and we
Did you
didn't
guys
save.
drive or fly?
We drove.
Oh, okay.
Who got
Drove my
COVID this
van.
time in the band? Was it Lars or?
No, I think the guitarist is a druggie, but he's got something. He's looking pretty rough, but
Well, I
No,
mean,
no COVID.
they're all in their mid 60s, so if someone's looking rough, it's not that surprising. I mean, it's just kind of sad. There's rumors about a certain guitarist that might have some drug problems or some personal problems that he's going through. That unlike when James Hetfield goes through those problems, like they're not very public about it. So, but I actually think they did quite well.
I would have to imagine.
That was a really good show. And my wife, who's never been to a concert before, she really enjoyed it.
Breaking the concert hymen.
Wait, say that again, babe.
I loved it.
She loved it.
Okay, so now imagine if she went to a not indie band and like a huge headliner.
Yeah, what if,
That
what
would
if she
be
saw a
rad,
real
dude.
band like
Fuck
Imagine
yeah.
Dragons?
Yeah, or Ghost.
Hey,
Or Ghost.
A4, we have tickets to Imagine Dragons on October 15th.
I am so sorry for you.
Not a fucking joke. My nephew loves Imagine Dragons. The whole family decided they were gonna go. My wife likes Imagine Dragons. We're all going to Imagine
Hey, you
Dragons.
know what? If you gotta,
It's kind of. Sorry, go.
I was just
go
gonna
ahead
say
for it.
you gotta please them. Like we're like me and the wife are going to see Labyrinth in concert next week, where they like play the movie, but they have like a whole orchestra play along with it. But I also really like that movie, so it totally works out for me.
God, that movie gave me fucking. If we were talking about things that scared us, that fucking movie gave me nightmares.
Really?
Like
Joe,
old too, dude. I was like 12 when I saw it, and that was like too much for me. I couldn't handle. There was
That's
like,
it.
there's still a shot in there that scares the fuck out of me. Just
What
like
shot?
when she's going through the tunnel and his hands
when the
are
hands,
grabbing
yeah.
at her. That image was just too much. Like that was sensory overload. I'm like, I'm fucking out of here. That's
Man, if you
fucking
think the Labyrinth is scary,
nightmare
you should,
fuel.
You should watch the fucking Dark Crystal if you think the Labyrinth is scary.
Oh,
Dark
fuck.
Crystal
Well,
fucked me
Dark
up as a
Crystal
kid.
put me to sleep as a kid, so I don't know. I don't know. I want to. I've seen scenes from it since then. I think I did watch it all the way as a kid. I don't think I liked it, but I saw my wife and I went to New York for to see her family who was traveling there.
Yeah.
And so we all went to New York, and I spent I don't know how fucking many dollars going to a quick New York trip, but not as much as we should have, is what she says. But and she's the one who's good with money.
You didn't take me to see the Harry Potter store. You didn't get me my wand.
So anyway, we went to New York. We went to the Museum of the Moving Image,
Yes.
which I wanted to go to last time I was in New York with Caleb and Cameron, and it was just out of our way because it was in Queens, I think,
Mhm.
and so it was like all of the other shit we were going to see was in Manhattan, and we would have had to like go across, and it would have been this big pain in the ass. Really regret not going because we went there this time. Last time it was a fucking Martin Scorsese exhibit, which would have been like my shit, dude.
Yeah,
I would have
yeah.
fucking loved that. This time it was Jim Henson. So
that's cool.
luckily for her family, that's very international. There's Muppets, the fucking Sesame Street. That's gone
they have
all over the world.
Didn't they have the Studebaker too from the Muppet movie in there? The car.
Possibly. I don't exactly remember that, but they had a bunch of like the actual puppets in there. But they were showing the Dark Crystal on like a big screen, and we got like a moment in there. I'm like, wow, this is beautiful. Like just like the craftsmanship in that movie.
As an adult,
Beautiful.
I think you would 1,000% appreciate the Dark Crystal.
Yeah.
For all that shit.
It might be one of those movies where it's like kind of better as an adult, and you can
the
like
fact
E.T. was. I feel like E.T. is not good as a kid.
Mhm.
Like E.T., you're like this movie is too like slow. There's too much seriousness in here. But as an adult, you watch E.T. and you're fucking bawling. Like that's It might be one of those situations where it's like probably actually better for an adult audience, even though it's like billed as a kids movie.
I think you should. I think you should revisit Dark Crystal. Yeah.
That's how I felt about Debbie Does Dallas. As a kid, I didn't appreciate it, but as an adult, I was like, I get it.
Yeah.
You know, as a kid, I didn't really appreciate the Human Centipede quite like I do now in my old age.
A Jim Henson one would be fucking pretty rad, though.
A Jim
Especially saying they
Henson's
have
the
like a
Human
bunch of the,
Centipede.
yeah, where, where the doctor, the only Muppet is the doctor, and it's Kermit, and then everyone else is the same.
No, it's gotta be that guy.
Fucking, it could be the Swedish Chef. That would be fucking sweet.
Dude. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He
He's got, like,
should
a rubber
be
chicken, he's
the
just putting it to
fucking German guy.
That's so fucking funny. Joe, make it happen.
I think you'd also appreciate the Dark Crystal because literally every shot of it is every single 70s prog rock album cover smashed into one thing. So
No, it's beautiful looking.
yeah.
So going back to what I was saying, I think you did your wife a disservice by Metallica being her first concert because
Metallica was my first concert in 2008.
They know how to put on a show. So it's like when you start high, you go to other ones and you're like you go to Imagine Dragons and you're like, not as
Are you
good
telling
as
me Imagine
Metallica.
Dragons doesn't know how to put on a show? They bang that snare drum for 4 hours like a boss.
Metallica's stage presentation is like there's nothing like it. They're
I don't know,
huge.
man. I've seen the Wiggles.
Although I will say I'm not a Muse fan. Like I don't.
Dude, they put on a fucking
But
show.
I saw Evanescence and Muse were playing, and I actually went for Evanescence. And then they were opening for Muse, and Muse played, and it was like, wow, this is a show,
dude. I've seen a video.
That's the only band that I've seen so far going to all these concerts over the years that has been like at the same level as Metallica when it came to like the showmanship.
I've seen a video of like Muse.
I'm not even a Muse guy.
I've seen a Muse video where like they have like this
live.
giant fucking like skeleton robot puppet come over the stage and shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's
huge. That's why I want to go. I really want to see Iron Maiden before they finish up because they have like the big animatronic Eddie and shit like that, and like apparently their shows are like really fucking good too.
Although
so it's like
I will say, Rob Zombie was fun in that like Alice Cooper only had one person come out in like a giant suit that was like for Feed My Frankenstein, but then Rob Zombie had like 5 different numbers where people came out in like giant like suits and shit. So that was fun. That was neat.
I was gonna say with Black Sabbath, they didn't really do anything like that. When I was in high school, no, just graduated. I saw Kiss, and they did like not to the extent of like probably Metallica or even because it wasn't, but like they had him like lifted up on shit and he was shooting this fucking firework bazooka and blowing lights off and stuff. But Metallica would be sick. Like Metallica would be fucking rad to see.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a good show. Even Five Finger Death Punch, they put on a good show.
Wait, do they open
Punch?
I mean, as stupid as the Jekyll and Hyde song is, as horrendously stupid as that song is, they played it well. They had good stage presence. The singer was like playing with the audience. It was a really active band. You know what? I actually enjoyed myself watching Five Finger Death Punch. The songs were terrible. But they played them with great gusto.
Yeah, they were probably, I would say, the third best band out of all of them. Maybe. I don't know.
Free?
Maybe Van Halen's fat ass son's band might be better.
I mean,
when they play, I just don't hear anything. Is the thing.
they sound pretty like regular rock. That band, Mammoth, I think is what it's called.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like Mammoth.
I Sign
though.
Kills put on an interesting show. I think Drew Daybell would love that show. But I Sign Kills, I don't know. They're all right. Like, they're all right.
Dude,
I don't know if
was-
the imagery really goes with how their songs sound.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was like a couple months ago. I found out that Ice Nine Kills started as a ska band.
They fucking
Doesn't
really?
surprise me.
Yes, they just
I'm
they,
not listening
a couple
to that
a couple months ago they did a song with Real Big Fish. They did a cover of Walking on Sunshine as like a tribute to like an American Psycho graphic novel or comic book or something. But yeah, they started as a ska band.
Yeah, we listened to them for a little bit just to kind of like, kind of get familiar with some of the songs. They're fine. Like,
All right.
I don't mind them.
Wait, were they with Metallica?
They were, yeah.
Yeah.
They opened and then Five Finger played after them and then Metallica played.
They just were here in
Weird
Utah
show.
with
In
In
terms
This
of
Moment.
lineup.
So that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's-
I mean Pantera was way better than all of them except for Metallica. But
I mean, of course, but I know Pantera song. I know some Five Finger Death Cunt songs too, but you know.
I didn't realize
Yeah.
that Mammoth
Yeah.
was Van Halen's son's band, but I actually like Mammoth a lot. So
yeah, they're just like there.
Well, if you want to see Mammoth, you got to pay up for Metallica.
apparently,
Yeah. But hey, it's Mammoth, Pantera, then Metallica, so that day was much better. Which is sad because it was the first day, and it was also the day I was the most drunk.
Yeah,
So-
Schweiss was fucking smashed
Twice.
at that first show.
Did he almost fall over? Because all the times I've dealt with the Super Schweiss drunk, he has almost toppled over. Oh shit!
No, I got shoved to the ground because I was moshing.
Oh,
I fucked up my knee for like 2 weeks.
hell
because you're
yeah.
old now.
We had a good time. I gained 8 pounds on that fucking trip. Everybody else lost weight. I fucking gained weight,
Yeah.
which is incredible. So yeah, that was a trip. That was a road trip with me, Caleb. Krinatal came out, and we saw like a lot of the national parks.
Oh,
And
cool.
then and my wife, of course, she was there.
And my wife was there
I
too.
can't believe you named her last. That was like a boring.
I know that's because she started talking and then I got distracted and I forgot to actually say her name.
It's like fucking
This is
Gilligan's-
Prunital. He is a fan, and this is
And
my
her
mom.
name is my wife, of course.
it's like Gilligan's Island and the
Laura.
rest.
Oh, fuck.
That was a good
Schweiss,
show.
Besides Diablo, what else have you played?
I played a bunch of Bravely Second, a bunch of Bravely Default 2, and a little bit of Fortnite with the boy. And that's about it. Oh, and Conan. Joe and I played Conan for a few hours. It
Fortnite
was
is
fun.
my favorite anime game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you got Attack on Titan, you got Jujutsu Kaisen, you got Dragon Ball.
Speaking
Yeah,
of
it's all there.
favorites, your new favorite family film, holiday film, the winner of the Discovery Award, the Best Actor Award at Desert Escape Film Fest, Audience Choice, Best in Utah, Best Actor at Kanab Film
Die
Fest.
Hard.
The Berkeley Screens Film Festival, Best Narrative Feature, Best Directing, Best Editing, Best Cinematography, Best Sound Design, Best Music Soundtrack, Best Writing, Best Lead Actor, and Best Supporting Actor. And at the Austin Film Fest, second rounder in the screenplay category.
wow.
So Chicken Coop, October 1st, 2024. Link in the description of this episode. Let's talk about a
Hey,
different
real quick,
movie.
watch it before we review it on the show. Because
What would
Well,
you
you-
say, would you
wait,
say
Joe,
it's
you
a fun
forgot.
holiday romp for the whole family?
I do
Yeah.
actually think it's good for the whole family. Yeah,
Joe, you forgot if we beat any games.
kids will not like.
I was gonna say before we talk about movies, let's talk about games we beat.
Yeah, what games did anyone beat?
All right, so I beat Bravely Second and Bravely Default 2.
Wow. And a boy. Wow.
Yeah, it's like 100 hours a game right there.
Yeah, that's some legitimate gaming there. Schweiss, what was the last game for me on there?
Bravely second.
Okay, well then I beat Bravely Default 2. The review out now on UFF. But before you listen to that review, make sure you go check out Chicken Coop on October 1st.
Nah.
If October 1st has passed by the time you listen to this.
Nah.
And then
Sweet.
listen to the episode.
What about you, A4? What have you beaten?
What's the last thing you have for me?
7 Remake.
Okay, so I beat Grabbed by the Ghoulies.
Okay.
Return of the Obra Dinn. Batman Arkham Asylum.
Oh fuck! I was restarted that, but then I stopped playing it.
Okay.
Tunic.
Tunic.
All right.
Astrobot.
Okay.
And Jammer Lammy.
Come on.
Come on, stop
That's not
making
real.
shit up, dude.
It's the sequel to Parappa the Rapper. What do you want?
Yes. I just feel bad that your wife hasn't been touched in months with how many games you've been playing.
Hey, she is enjoying the shit out of Black Myth Wukong, okay? You don't worry about it.
fuck! She's playing her ancestors.
She doesn't need you. She's got the Black Myth on her side.
Yeah, she's playing as her ancestors. How you just fucking say
Yeah.
the ancestral monkey? Damn, bro.
I've seen her play it, like just walking past her office. It looked gorgeous. I haven't bought it myself personally, but
It looks dope as fuck, dude. I've heard really good things about it.
Yeah, everybody says it's sweet for a Chinese game.
I mean, yeah.
What about you, Zach? What have you beat?
I beat Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge.
Ooh, I just got that on Switch recently.
It's fucking so
The
fun.
physical version. I mean, I had it on Switch before.
Oh, I was gonna say because we were gonna
No,
play it.
limited run had like a Labor Day sale, so I picked up the physical
sick.
copy, and it still comes with a Pizza Hut coupon. It has expired, but it still has
But
a
it's
Pizza
fair.
Hut coupon there. Yeah,
I beat Final Fantasy 16.
Nice.
Wow, what'd you think?
I fucking loved it.
Good. It's
It would have
good,
been
man.
it would have been my favorite. I think that would have been my game of the year that year, 100%. The only frustrating thing that bugged me a little bit towards the end was I was like, I did all of the side missions except for like the leader, like the board, like the hunting board, except for the ones you do with side missions. And I was like, okay, like every time I got back to the hideaway, I'm like, oh, like 2, 3, that's perfect. Perfect. I can do these
And
in
there was a
between.
bunch.
Well, then at the end, they're like, Torgal's depressed, bitch. And
Yeah.
I'm like, God, fuck. Like, my thing, too, is like some of these missions. It's like, oh, go check on this town. And I'm like, dude, I'm 2 levels away from the end. Like, I've seen, like, the chapter layout. I know how far I am.
Yeah, you don't
I'm
want
like-
to pause for 4 hours while you
Yeah,
finish
I'm
up
like,
all the hunts?
I'm like, hey,
I did.
maybe- Oh, my God, dude, you're ridiculous.
I'm debating on whether I
didn't do the
start
hunt,
16
but I
before I
did-
play Rebirth. I'm not sure yet.
but I
Nah, keep the 7 tray rolling.
Yeah, if you're playing with it, you might as well just, like, go right into it, dude.
I can tell you which one's better.
No, you really like Rebirth a lot.
Yeah, it's Rebirth, but
I know. We've talked about it. But, no, like, it was just sucky because I'd be like, oh, cool. Like, I'm actively, I've already done most of these, so I want to do all the side missions except for the hunting board. And it's like every time I get there, it's like, oh, like, towards the end, the last 5 levels, when shit's, like, actively, like, really happening, they're like, oh, here's seven missions.
Yeah, why don't you distract
understand.
yourself?
And I'm like,
We
no.
couldn't give you the shit while you were looking for parts for a fucking airship.
Yeah, dude. Yes. No,
Now,
100%.
now that you're gonna go save the world, let's
Yeah.
Yeah, but
go
how
ahead
many-
and
how
shove
many-
all these side quests at you.
How many cutscenes
Well, I'm like,
in
yeah.
16 end with a character like leaving the room and they hang on it for like way too long? Wasn't that
not
your
as
complaint?
many as you would
No.
think.
Wasn't that your
Yeah,
complaint
yeah,
about 14, where like everyone's got to enter a room and like
That
say
was
hi?
that was my giant fear from 16. I was like, please tell me. And there's a little bit of meandery, like, oh, get these 3 things. Like, there's a pattern with the 14 side quests. And that's mostly in kind of where it gets a little boggy in the middle of the game. But I mean, it's a good game. It's a solid game.
I've heard that, I heard your review. I don't remember all the spoilers, but like,
I put it at about the same level as 15. Some days I'll think 15's better, and some days I'll think 16's better.
that's pretty good.
But they're
I like 15
better
for what it's
they're
worth.
better for different reasons.
Yeah,
So
Story fucking amazing. I'm not gonna do any spoilers because A4 hasn't played it, but Fucking loved it. The Titan fucking boss fight, like the big
Titan's
one
in the
is
Final Fantasy game? Fucking spoilers,
fucking.
dude.
I don't give a shit. You've had time. You've had time. No, but like that boss fight was so fucking fun, dude. Like it just was good. I enjoyed everything about it. Yeah, just fucking loved it. It was great.
Yeah.
Very
Nice.
enjoyable. And then my third game I beat was Space Marine 2.
Oh, wow, already.
Oh yeah.
Is it like
It's
a short
not very long.
campaign or okay?
Oh yeah, it's super short. I saw it was about 10 hours, but I beat it in 6. So it's
Nice.
yeah, it's not.
The
It's fun. Like,
map.
I would definitely go back and play it again, but it's short.
I have a few of those old games, the older Space Marine. They came with like a big pack I bought on Steam
That's
years
cool.
and years ago.
The
They're
first
supposed to be
Space
pretty good.
I
It's
had
pretty
the
fun.
first Space Marine forever on PlayStation Plus, and then I canceled my fucking PlayStation Plus subscription. So all I remember from the first
Yeah.
Space Marine game is I remember watching Giant Bomb play it, and the orcs just yelling "Space Marine!"
Space Marine. I saw a meme that was like, I miss him, and it was like the Wolverine thing where he's like touching the thing, but it's the orc from the first one. So, like, Space Marine. It was pretty funny. Real quick too, like, so my girlfriend was in New York for like a long time, I can't remember. I think it was about a week, just under a week, and I didn't go. So that's I took off work. So like literally all I did was I went and got like food to sustain myself and cook for like those few days. And I fucking went and saw Alien Romulus, and then I just played Final Fantasy 16.
Hey, what'd you think of that one?
I liked Romulus a lot. Good alien movie, like definitely really good alien movie. I
really liked it. I had a great time.
As well. I think I wanted at least 2 more crew members because I like the killing aspect of slasher movies. I would have liked to see more aliens destroy people.
But I mean, dude, I don't know. I thought it was like outside of, I guess, the thing that it's being like railed for, which is kind of like the deep fake thing. Like,
yeah. Okay. So my problem
outside
with
of that, I fucking loved it. Like, loved it.
Yeah. So here's my thing with it, with that deepfake thing. I don't understand. Like, I get why they made it look like the dude, like one of the original androids or whatever, but they could have made it more cohesive with Covenant and Prometheus. Like, and I feel like it could have been Michael Fassbender, could have been the android, and they could have just connected it that way and just bullshit a line about him working with Weyland Yutani. And it would have been like, okay, if it's the same guy doing the alien shit, makes sense. Like, let's go. Also, the whole thing with the newborn, to me wasn't as exciting because the day before I watched Alien Resurrection, and she has the baby, and I'm like, oh, they've done this before. Which is neither here nor there. The dude was creepy looking.
You're spoiling the fuck out of that, by the way. But that part, I don't know. That part fucking freaked me out. That was fucking creepy.
Is the fact that it's a dude in a suit. Like, it's just some basketball player who's got freakish fucking proportions, and they made him an alien suit, and it's fucking scary.
I loved how practical everything was. Like, it really felt
100%.
It really felt like, I mean, on Covenant, everything was CG, and it was fine. It was good. They did a good job. But like, this has a little bit more weight to it. It's a little bit more like the old Alien movies in that way. Outside of the thing that needed the practical, which was the actor's face. But outside of that,
practical effects in stark contrast to what we'll be talking about in a few minutes. But
that's true.
Yeah.
We'll eventually talk about the movie.
Yeah, sorry. Real quick. That's one of the things I really liked. About like The Mandalorian and even like the sequel trilogy for Star Wars is the use of practical effects, them going back to it. Like, I'm a sucker for practical effects. I love them. I love seeing it. I love seeing like how they make them. It's so like with that kind of stuff, that's one of the things I love about Romulus, and the fact they made an actual xenomorph like animatronic. Like, I don't know. I just think it's dope. I think it's dope
you're watching it, and if you're not hooked into that, it's more like, this feels really gritty and real. It's not like what you're getting with like when you're watching Borderlands or Ant-Man or something like that, where it's just so, you're watching a character and like against a green screen, and there's some sort of detachment there.
Yeah,
you're not getting that detachment because an actor is actually like having a performance with something in front of them.
The fact that they like made practical effects for the 2010 Thing movie, and then they just scrapped it all and put CGI in.
Well, I mean, if it looked better, then it makes sense, but I don't know if it did. You know,
I doubt it in
I-
2010.
Yeah. I like how they actually like killed actors in Alien Romulus.
I
Like, the
listened-
practical effects. Wow.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying.
All right.
Sorry. No, yeah, go. Just go.
Alien Romulus is my favorite
Okay.
snuff film. Yeah.
I listened to an interview with the director, and he's like, well, everybody starts these movies wanting to make them all practical, and then usually like things get in the way where it's just impossible. And one of his things that he said that he's absolutely right about was that practical effects are great, but if you light them wrong, they look really bad.
Mm.
And so his whole thing was like, we had to be very careful about how we lit that. And it's like, yeah, that's a specialized skill. Like, how do you light this thing in a way that's not going to look like a fucking puppet? Because that's exactly what it fucking is.
Right.
And so it's more like I mean, maybe it looked good in the original thing or in the 2010 thing, and maybe it looked like shit, and they had to replace it. I know that's a thing with the original Cloverfield movie. I remember watching the DVD extras on that, and they had to replace some practical effects, like with some of the small monsters. They were like, "Yeah, we were gonna do this practical, but it just looked silly in the edit," so they then had to replace it with CGI. So
It's like
it would be a
but I
case
think,
by case
like,
basis.
It
on that.
works for Cloverfield too, because like since it's all like found footage, I think having the CGI, especially when it's like being fast, like those little like crawler, like little walker ones, it makes
Yeah.
sense. Like
Those
they're
were
not.
the
They're
things that were
I never felt
replaced.
taken out of Cloverfield, really. So.
I mean, it was good. I fucking love Cloverfield's so fucking good. I
Cloverfield's a
love
great movie. Yeah.
I fucking love Cloverfield.
The ultimate mark of quality for Alien Romulus. Did you fuck the popcorn bucket?
No, but I brought the Dune one with me just in case. Fuck, I kind of want. I wanted that popcorn bucket though. The xenomorph head's dope. They have a long time ago. I saw on this like site. It was a cookie jar, but like you took the top of the head off, and it was like the xenomorph. You took like the top. I've always wanted that. So I'm like that popcorn bucket.
That's cool.
Sadly, I did
Yeah,
not
it's
get the Deadpool popcorn bucket when we saw Deadpool versus
The Wolverine one.
Yeah.
So funny.
Do you see the controller too? The Deadpool controller with the butt.
Yeah, where it's got his actual butt on it.
Yeah,
That's jackass.
that's good.
Okay, sorry. So yeah, those are 3 games I beat. That's all I beat. I think we went through.
Sweet. All right, so the Nude Clan Hog for the hosts is as follows. First place by a landslide, A4 with 26 games beaten. Second place, myself with 8 games beaten.
Yeah.
Third place, last place tie between Zach and Joe
What the
with
fuck?
6 games a pop.
Joe, we can hold hands this entire time.
It's all right, man. We're gonna be tied until the end unless you beat more games.
We should just
Oh,
be tied. I'll just be tied with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no more
I
games.
plan
for the
on
rest of
flying
the year.
together.
We'll just beat Conan and we'll hold hands walking
And
in.
then at like December 31st at 10 o'clock at night, Zach beats like a game that takes an hour to finish, like a fighting
To be
game.
fair,
Yeah.
that's what I did to Craig. I fucking all my last games in that 2020 were like all like dollar games I got off Steam, and I
Oh, I
fucking
beat-
destroyed it.
Oh, I have the same number as Joe, but I also just in the last 2 hours beat Marvel vs. Capcom 2. So
Just getting all
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat games and beat the ladder and be like, beat Mortal Kombat.
yeah,
All the games I'm playing now though are long,
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
I don't
I
imagine that I will beat any more games.
I want to play through the Resi 4 remake. I've owned that fucking thing
Oh,
for
it's
yeah. I
so
haven't finished
fun.
that.
7
I got,
months.
I got to like the Del Lago fight, and then I kind of stopped.
I'm almost. I just. Fuck. Where am I in that? I killed the fish in the remake.
Nice.
And
That's not very
I'm-
far.
No,
I was
I'm
gonna say,
no,
I'm
I'm
right
for
before
I'm.
that.
Oh, I'm in the canyon. I'm sniping. I'm in the sniper level through the canyons. That's where I'm at. Sorry, that is where I'm at. Sniper level through the canyons.
Yeah.
Dude,
Nice.
A4. You don't have it on PS5, do you?
No, I have it on Steam.
Oh, dude, it's so fucking fun with like the controller because like they do like the
I
trigger
will say
physics
I
thing.
did-
Oh, it's so fun.
I did upgrade my Spider-Man PS4 so I could play it on PS5 with the triggers and shit. So
Nice.
yeah, because
There you go.
Hey, look, if there's one thing I can give the PS5 credit for, the controller's amazing. Which like Astrobot is like the perfect fucking showcase of how good that controller is.
Yeah, PlayStation kills it. with the
Much like
controllers.
the Astros Playroom, where there was just like, let's just show off how fucking amazing this controller is.
I'm gonna have to get Astrobot.
You really
After I
should.
beat
It's
Stellar
really
Blade,
good. It's
'cause
really fun. I think
I've like decided. My thing is like I'm trying not to. I only buy a game when I beat a game now because I can't do backlogs.
normally I would do that too, but I had to send Sony a message like, look, just make games with smaller budgets that aren't as graphically intensive, that run at 60 and are actual
like-
video games and not C tier AMC
My-
dramas, please. And
My
I
goal
will
was-
buy them.
I was like, I have to beat 16 before Space Marine 2 comes out. Because I'm like, I'm so close, and I've had Final Fantasy 16 for almost a year because I got it last year for my birthday. My birthday is like in 2 weeks, so I'm like, I need to beat it.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I picked it
I'm
up,
like, I need
You should celebrate by picking up Chicken Coop on October 1st.
I should. The best part is I get to celebrate by fucking doing inventory. That weekend, I have to go into work. and do
that
inventory.
blows.
Fucking
I mean,
mad about it.
dude, pull in the projector so everybody can watch it. And while everybody's doing inventory, they can all enjoy the family movie of the year, Chicken Coop, October 1st.
Right. That sounds
The
like a
irony
good
is that he
idea.
pulls in the
Link in the
projector.
description.
The irony is that he pulls in the projector and he's just like making everyone watch him play Astrobot while they all do inventory.
No, I'm gonna make them watch me play Stellar Blade, bro. They're gonna
Hell
see the
yeah.
jiggle physics.
Well, then they're not going to get any fucking work done, man.
Okay, sorry guys. All right, so should we talk about Borderlands for the last 10 minutes of our podcast?
Borderlands, the 2024 Eli Roth
Yeah,
vehicle.
yeah. Probably the worst Eli Roth thing I've seen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. I don't want to. I mean, look. I love Eli Roth as a person who pushes classic movies on his using his fame in order to do that. So every time he's in an interview or something like that, he's like a fucking encyclopedia of like bizarre old horror movies and stuff like that. I think Eli Roth sounds like an amazing guy to hang out with. Okay. So I do not want to shit on his movie for 2 hours because
Mr.
I
Roth,
like Eli Roth
the views and
as a person.
the views expressed by myself, Zach, and Schweiss are not reflective of Joseph DeGolier, who wants to hang out with you
Yes.
someday. But
Yeah.
you made a really bland, boring movie that is not that great.
Eli Roth, who starred as the Bear Jew in Inglourious Bastards.
I have to like this
Made a
movie
bunch
now.
of movies I haven't
Yeah.
seen. I've seen Knock Knock, which
Oh, he did Knock Knock?
yeah,
Oh, I didn't
which
know that.
wasn't great, but I kind of liked it at the same time.
It is a weird prequel to John Wick, I will say.
That's good. No one else is laughing because no one else has seen it but me and
Well,
you.
I was going to
clearly,
say,
but that's
no,
pretty good.
By the way, I only saw like the first third of it, like right up until he has sex with those two girls, because like,
Not the one where the girl's like,
yeah,
and at the end.
yeah. But then
Okay.
like, because like I realized they were going to ruin his life, and I'm like, I don't want to see this. I just want to see him like have sex with two hot European women. So I turned it off.
Is the idea that it's a porn setup, but then it goes the wrong direction or something like that,
Yeah, I don't need to see a guy's life get ruined. Like, I just want to see him like get tempted
and
by
him
two hot
buried in the
European
dirt?
women. Yeah, I don't need to see
What?
that. I'm good.
What did Eli Roth do for the Grindhouse? Was it Planet Terror?
No, he did the Thanksgiving fake trailer.
Which became the movie
that's
that came
funny.
out last year.
Yeah. Which apparently got in the way of the filming of this movie. So the cast includes Kevin Hart, Jack Black, Edgar Ramirez, Ariana Greenblatt.
And Kate Blanchett representing
Kate Blanchett.
AARP, as well as Jamie Lee Curtis.
I can't believe they had those two actresses and this movie was that bad.
Jamie
A
Lee
budget-
Curtis, I can kind of understand because she's known for like cosplaying with her kid. Like she's like,
Yeah.
but Kate Blanchett was not the pick for this one.
You know what they're all known for? Taking money to play pretend in front of the camera.
Well,
so
that was the thing. Kate Blanchett was
They didn't
not
even
playing.
do it.
Kate Blanchett was not playing a character in this movie. She was just there to collect a paycheck, just like her
Bro,
character in the
she-
movie.
She was so like she like I don't know. I've seen her like be good in things, and this was like she was literally reading the teleprompter while she was like walking around. Like that's what she was doing. It was so monotone. It was so just not what I expected.
I am extremely tired of seeing Anya Taylor-Joy in everything, but she would have been a better pick for Lilith based on
She's great.
what the character looks. I'm not saying she's not a bad. I'm not saying she's a bad actress. Like I liked her in The Menu.
All right. This
I'm
is
just
another
saying,
one of those
she's in everything.
fucking bullshit internet fucking mouth breather motherfuckers. It's like when Anne Hathaway got like nominated for an Oscar and then everybody hated her for absolutely no reason.
Yeah, but the difference is that Anne Hathaway is like hot. So like, what do you want?
Yeah, wait. So is Kate Blanchett in her own way. Like,
No.
and she's Galadriel. She's the prettiest person in.
We're talking Taylor Joy.
We're talking all about gorgeous women, who are very, very good if they're cast in the right role. Which I don't know if Kate Blanchett was in fact cast. In fact, yeah, I don't think she was.
But like,
I don't think
well,
she was
doesn't
well
that
cast
this movie
in
is like they lean into her being old. Like there's multiple references to her saying like I'm too old for this shit, and it's like, isn't Lilith like supposed to be a young woman in the original Borderlands movie or in the?
I mean,
video
I was
game?
just like, that was them
Never played
breaking.
Borderlands.
I did.
That was them breaking the fourth wall, and I was like, yeah, she is too old for this shit.
I did.
Like, what is it with all these old white women in this movie,
I mean,
bro? It's fucking
the casting
Borderlands.
the casting they did with everything was pretty bad. I mean, like Kevin Smith or Kevin.
Kevin Hart was fine.
Kevin Hart.
No, but that's not. Yeah, but that's not the character. Like Roland's character is
No.
not that. Like they just. I mean, they didn't fucking care
To
because
be
they
fair,
obviously
I didn't play
they
Borderlands
mashed-
2.
they
because I love
mashed
myself.
the two. They mashed the shut up. They mashed the two games together because because the first game, the main characters you play as are Lilith, or can play as Lilith, Roland, Brick, and a guy named Mordecai. They cut Mordecai and Brick. And then in the second game, you find Tiny Tina, and then the character Krieg is a DLC character. Like he's not even in the original like set game. And then like the City of Sanctuary is in the second game. Atlas are the bad guys in the first one.
The plot is basically the plot of Borderlands 1, but they had to add in some shit from Borderlands 2, like Tiny Tina, or as I like to refer to her, the least charming character in all of fiction.
Well, so for
I actually
they
like
added-
Tiny Tina quite. I thought she was one of the best parts of this movie.
Okay.
Just that actress, like really going for it.
I mean, she did fine.
She did
It's
a
just-
good job.
It was the dialogue that really failed.
Well, now look,
that's not her fault.
look. People could slam on this movie. I don't think it's nearly as bad as a lot of the movies that have made more money that we've watched. It's not good. It's a boring action movie, which is kind of a sin.
Yeah.
But
So
it's not like when I'm watching it, when I watch the trailer, I know why this movie made no money because the trailer was terrible. Like the marketing materials for this movie were awful. They made it look way worse than it actually was. So when we were sitting down to watch this yesterday, I was like scared. I was like, I'm not ready for something that's an hour and 40 minutes. That is,
it's not as good as Werewolves Within.
That's gonna be like
surprisingly,
I don't know,
not as good as Werewolves Within.
like one of the '90s video game adaptations. Like I thought it was gonna be on that level, and it wasn't. It was like professionally made.
There's a thing
pretty not great.
There's a thing where I was kind of alluding to it before we started, where like this movie kind of being boring and bland kind of makes it like a 4 or a 5 out of 10, but that's like somehow worse than like a movie being really bad. Like you could say that the Super Mario Brothers movie from the 90s was really bad, but like it has a level of personality to it that like it's so bad that like you can still recognize what it is, whereas like this just felt like stuff was just kind of happening and like nothing's really explained and nothing's really introduced.
Yeah, but it's not Wing Commander.
Yeah, that's
bad.
In fairness, I have not seen Wing
where
Commander.
it's boring and terrible in every single way.
My girlfriend was continually commenting on this movie about how bad it was, but while we were watching it, but she was like, she's like, I'm like, yeah, it's okay, and she's like, why? What do you mean, like it's okay? And I was like, it's not House of the Dead 2. It's not that other one we just watched.
Yeah, we're judging on a different curve.
It's not
It's not
because of
Dead
that.
Trigger, no.
When you say like the personality, and it's like you can hate those games all you want, but the Borderlands 1 and 2 do have a personality.
They do.
The games do have personality, and it doesn't show through this. Like it's.
I think it does, but I think it's
not enough Mad Moxie titties. That was upsetting.
Here's the thing: I think the personality from the Borderlands games does show in this movie, but it's mostly Borderlands. It's mostly Borderlands 2.
Borderlands 2 is the best game out of them, and it's
Writing wise, I'm not so sure, but
you're a fucking liar. You're a motherfucking liar.
when Tiny Tina makes
shut the fuck up. Borderlands 1 is a game where you're like, oh, we're gonna go find this vault, and nothing happens. You look for the vault, you find the vault, you fight bandits, you fight Atlas. That's it. There's not a real story there.
Yeah, but at least it doesn't have like cringe Reddit dialogue.
Number 2 has an amazing story. You fucking kidding me? Like, really?
Well, then why did they put Handsome Jack in this movie instead of Atlas?
They should have.
Handsome Jack is arguably the more iconic villain from this franchise than Atlas. But
I only played Borderlands 1, and I know Handsome Jack.
Exactly.
And I've never played
Same
that
here,
game.
So... I've not played Borderlands 2. I know Handsome Jack. But like, I think the Borderlands
I've never played either. I don't know who Handsome Jack.
I don't think. I think the Borderlands 2 part comes out when like Tiny Tina makes Claptrap go into all the psychos and say, you guys should all eat poop from your poopy fart faces, and it's just like this is dialogue apparently. This is.
Well, but that's like all the dialogue in number 2. Like you're
it's bad. Exactly. That's my point.
You're bullshitting to prove a point, and it's
I'm not
true.
bullshitting. I'm telling you what the dialogue is for this movie and how it matches number 2, which has bad dialogue.
You're bullshitting.
Look, I thought Kevin Hart did a good job. Like he had like 2 jokes in the entire movie, and so he was actually like a serious character. And I actually thought Kevin Hart was a pretty good straight actor in this. I thought he did a good job.
He's one of the most likable of the entire cast.
I thought Kate Blanchett, as much as she was like parodying an action movie star, I thought she looked great. I thought that honestly the robot played by Jack Black, I cringed when I watched the trailer. When I watched the movie, I actually laughed a couple times. My wife laughed a couple times at his humor. It's very dumb. It's very like Marvel-y kind of like
it does
on
it
the
does
nose,
fit the character from
ironic
the game.
humor.
It does fit the
and like when he was shitting out the bullets, that made me laugh too. And then I thought Ariana, the little girl, I thought she was great.
I think she put in a good performance. I don't think her dialogue is great, but that's not her. Again, that's not her fault.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the girl was great in it. And there were some like clever little action moments here. It wasn't like watching, I don't know, that fucking Silent Hill movie. Or no, what was that? No, it was Resident Evil.
Welcome to Raccoon City.
Yeah, Welcome to Raccoon City. I was like, at least it was made by like Eli Roth is clearly a competent visual filmmaker, even though most of this movie is actors against CGI and has a really dumb magical third act. My
other complaint with that,
yeah, that was awful. There was some good and some not so good.
She's in the game. She's a siren the whole time, so I don't know why they made it like this magical mystical thing at the end. Like she
also wasn't really that surprising.
No, like I knew, but I played the game, so I knew like they had to do it at some point.
Yeah, me too.
But it's like also, I don't know. Like... here's the thing: they could have just made Borderlands, or like the story leading up to Borderlands 2. They could have made that as the Borderlands movie, and it'd have been great. Like honestly, if they did it right, it would have been fine because it actually has a story compared to number 2 or number 1, and then number 3 is what it is. But like, I don't know. I think they mashed all this stuff together, and for me, it didn't jive, especially from someone who's played the games. I was kind of
to the point where like they have the guy driving the bus from the beginning, and he's giving like the exact same spiel from the beginning of the first game. Like, I hope you find what you're looking for. It's like this doesn't matter because we're not playing the video game, so who cares?
I know, yeah.
Like it was even Kate Blanchett's like, can you turn this stupid video off, please? Like, nope.
To me, like it's kind of. I feel like it's weird some of the characters they like left out. Because, I mean, like, you get Marcus, because he's a big part of, like, the game. He's, like, your person who, like, introduces you. And he's in it, and he looks accurate to the game. To the game. Mad Moxie looked great. She looked just like she does in the video game. That was dope. She's a huge part of it. Yeah, older, but still hot. And then they...
Played by Gina Gershon, which I was like, surprised by. She was in so much makeup, I couldn't recognize her.
I mean, she looks accurate to the character in the game, so...
It surely does. At the end of the movie, when they're all celebrating... There's the 2 characters that do your like it's called Catch a Ride, and it's like your how you get your vehicles. They show them at the end, but it's like I don't know. Like I feel like some of they added like random characters that didn't matter, but it's like I don't know what he was trying to do. Like they mashed 2 games together, and it just didn't. For me, it didn't come out. I was like, as a fan of the game, I was just like, this is shit. I don't enjoy it. It's okay, but it's
they
not.
try to get their little references in there. Like they have they have the doll logo fucking everywhere in this movie, which like it's a thing for the video game. It's one of the brands of the guns that you get, but like, who cares?
I think the guns could have looked better too. Honestly, I feel like here's the thing, because in the games they're very they look weird and they're flamboyant. They're very colorful. I would have liked a couple guns. At least they weren't gonna stick with it. A couple guns that would have been a little bit differently colored or something.
For the game that marketed itself as having 18 quintillion guns or whatever the fuck the original marketing was for the first Borderlands, the gun focus on this is very minimal, which is weird.
Yeah, what's the whole game? Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. It was okay. I'm not gonna watch it again.
No, we bought it, but we're not gonna watch it again.
So I don't know.
It's just they'll just they show at the beginning they show Kevin Hart rescuing the little girl. They don't introduce either of these characters. So we have no idea what's going on. The psycho just kind of breaks out of the cell and is just there.
I thought they were gonna go with the theory from the games is that Krieg is her dad. In the game, Tiny Tina's character is not made in a lab. She's living on Pandora with her family. They're attacked by psychos, and then she gets abandoned. She gets abandoned because her parents die. And the running theory is, I don't know if it's been said yes or no, is that Krieg is her dad when you get him in the DLC. And so I was I thought it'd be more of that angle, because he saves her and he's oh my girl or whatever. I'm oh, so they're gonna play it as that, and then they didn't, and they're oh, it's a clone. I'm fucking stupid. You have
maybe it is just a nod to the DLC. I don't know. That could be kind of cool.
Also, I don't know. The dialogue in this was I know A4 is talking shit.
It's fucking terrible.
I was pretty upset because they didn't do any of the great Krieg one-liners. I'm the captain of the poop train. They could have put that in there.
I mean, he says stuff that's almost the same thing, where he just looks at a thing and goes "Oh, meat fest," or boiling flesh water or whatever.
Which, to be fair, that is pretty accurate to the psychos. One of the things I chuckled a little bit at was when they see the people underneath the city or whatever, the ones they're fighting underneath, and I wouldn't have heard it if I didn't have my subtitles on, because I can't hear without my subtitles. And it was the one lady she yells it's rip the flesh salt. It's rip the flesh, salt the wound, and I'm oh, okay, so that is something they yell at you actively in the game while they're trying to kill you. I'm that's cool. They threw that in, but
are you talking about the psychos so that they send Claptrap in and all the psychos are looking at him like those zombie scare actors at theme parks where they're just doing this weird head cocking thing?
You say that. But that's exactly what I thought about when they're going through that one area where it's the flashing strobe lights and they see the eyes. I'm it's just a fucking.
It's just a Universal Studios Halloween maze.
Yeah, it's a haunted house. Yeah, I was
it was the Krieg's dialogue in this just made me feel like they were trying to just do Drax again.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
and I feel like Krieg is such a dumb character to put in a live action, only because honestly they could have done Brick and it been way better, because the part of playing Krieg in the game is he's been baked under that fucking planet sun for so long that what comes out of his mouth isn't what he's thinking. When you play the game, you have his voice where he's meat fest, and then you have his inner monologue, which is trying to get him to be sane again. And it's you can't do that with a movie. It doesn't work that way.
But you know the reason they put him in the movie is just so we can have that one psycho with the Arch logo on his fucking mask.
100%. 100%.
Because it's iconic. It's the fucking cover of the game where he's got the guns on his head.
And but it just doesn't make sense to do it because it doesn't work the same way as it would in a game, where they could have had one of the characters from the original Borderlands movie who has the A on his fucking bandana, and they could have just had him in. It could have been Brick, which people who play the games like Brick. They like him. So but
the only person you can get to play Brick is Brock Lesnar. I mean, come on, they can't afford.
Yeah, and fucking bullshit. They got Kate Blanchett. They got Jamie Lee Curtis. They got people they had a pretty.
Jamie Lee Curtis clearly did this as a favored her kid.
I mean, maybe, but fuck, they could have got Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, awesome. I bet Brock Lesnar is probably a lot cheaper than Kevin Hart.
Okay, fair point.
So I don't know.
But yeah, they introduce things and they're never really explained or resolved all that much. And I'm not even talking about her being the siren and the Firebird or whatever the fuck. It's there was one specific thing that I had in mind that I can't think of right now. I can't fuck it, but like stuff just happens in this movie, and like they really don't go into detail about it, and it's just like, okay, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I fell asleep pretty hard to it last night. I got about 40 minutes in, and I passed out. And it's weird because I passed out, but then I like woke up again on the couch, and like it was playing again, and I'm like, what the fuck? And so I had to turn it off like 3 times. I don't know if I was like bumping the controller or like if it really wanted me to watch it, but I died, and when I woke up again, I watched it the rest of the way, and I laughed at the end when they had the premature ejaculation joke.
I thought that was like, what the fuck? This is a kids movie, right?
Well, no, that's the thing, because like the dialogue is like it's a kids movie, but it's very clearly not, because it's based on an M-rated video game. Like that's the thing that I hate about the dialogue in movies like this, is that it's trying so hard, but at the same time, it has to be so juvenile and so like almost kid friendly, because like
look. The thing is, if you're spending $110 million on what is like an original property in terms of film, I understand the studios, being scared about putting that much money into something and then being like, oh, we're gonna. I mean, they hired fucking Eli Roth to do the movie, who's of course known. He's done one other like kids movie, but he's known for fucking having
that Spy
fever
Kids
shit.
or whatever the fuck. Or...
Did he do Hostel as well?
Yeah, he did Hostel, and
like
really fucked up movies. Like that's what he's known for. Even I know him for that, even though I haven't seen his movies. So, like, clearly there's just this seems to me from the outside, I guess, this looks like too many cooks in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can see that there's a storied history when it comes to actually making this movie. It was passed around to a bunch of different writers. Craig Mazin, who wrote the Chernobyl miniseries on HBO, and he wrote The Last of Us.
Okay.
Show. He took his name. He took his name off of the thing, and then he was replaced by someone else. Eli Roth directed the movie, but then Tim Miller did 2 weeks of reshoots on the movie. Eli Roth was also a co-writer. And then like the score was like the person who did the score was replaced.
I was trying to figure out which other
minute.
kids movie that Eli Roth did. It was the fucking house with the clock in its walls.
Yeah, that's the
feels
kids
very
movie.
like. I didn't see it, but from the trailer, it seemed very like a series of unfortunate events.
Yeah, and then apparently I'm seeing things on Wikipedia, which is all I'm looking at. Is like, stunt coordinator said that they, cut a bunch of things like heads being blown off and feet being cut off. Those were cut to maintain a PG-13. So
yeah, you can't make a movie.
This has been filed down.
Yeah, because what would happen if they released this as an R? It would have done just as badly.
Of course,
but because you don't have an original IP come out that's rated R out of nowhere, and it is successful. Like, studios are afraid of that for a reason, and it's because you cut half of your audience base, if not more, by making it R-rated.
Yeah, but I mean, it is based on an M-rated game, so it's like, why not have half the budget, half the scope? I feel like we could have lived without like the Phoenix Flame thing. I didn't know this shit was like even a fantasy series. I thought it was like a sci-fi.
It's sci-fi. It's got like elements of fantasy, but like that's yeah.
So that was confusing to me as a person who never played the game. I was like,
it's more like it's like psychic powers almost. Like it's like, I don't know. They did it really
I want to
weird,
say the bigger emphasis on her powers in the game is like the phase walking shit where she teleports.
Yeah, because that's like a huge part of it, because you can teleport people around. Like that's one of your biggest things.
It's less the Firebird thing and more the phase walking.
And it's like they talk about it and they're like, oh, because you're the protector of Pandora. But it's like in the lore for the game, there's like five sirens. Like there can only be so many at the same time, but there's like 5 throughout the galaxy. And it's like they're not like protectors of anything. They get the powers. They can do shit with them. Like it's not that deep. Like, I don't know. I just felt like he took a bunch of stuff and smashed together and like just, and not a good way. Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of disappointed it wasn't better. Like,
Yeah.
I shouldn't be. It's a video game movie. I should know my lessons, but
Yeah, and it's not as bad as the ratings have it look. Like,
no,
it's pretty,
this is not a 10%. Like,
it's boring, and it's probably one of the worst.
It's not
ones
a
we've
1
seen.
out of 10 movie. In other words,
No, it's not. It's probably one of the worst ones we've seen in a while because it's not as good as Werewolves Within. It's not as good as
sleeper hit. Can't believe it.
as what?
I think it's better than.
I was like, Werewolves Within. Werewolves Within was a sleeper
it's
hit.
not as
I
like,
didn't imagine sex to be as
it's
good
not as
it
like
was.
laughably bad as Dead Trigger. Like, it's just kind of there.
Dude, Far Cry was hilarious. That's the thing that I miss, like tits and hilariousness.
Release
from
the
him.
bowl cut. Uwe Boll
Yeah,
should've
man.
directed this fucking thing.
Like, he brought a joy. And I can't believe I'm saying this because his movies are terrible, but like they're hilarious in a way that you just can't get on purpose. And this movie tried to be hilarious on purpose, and it's not very
really
funny.
bad.
I laughed the one time when they saw the flower in the sewer, like, oh, Hope Springs in the weirdest places, and then the robot smashes it. But then they overdid the joke for the next 30 seconds, so I was like, oh, well, it was funny.
I didn't laugh at
But,
Claptrap. I kind of wish he'd shut the fuck up. But like, the one part that
I
I
laughed
thought
at
was
him.
kind of funny
Not the whole
was
time.
where he's like singing scanning, and she's like, "Can you do that without singing?" He's like, "Yes." And then he just goes back to scanning, and I'm like, all right, that's kind of funny.
Some of those things, it's like I heard the joke and I'd be like, yeah, that would have been funny. Like the least funny daughter line. It's like the first joke in the movie. He's like, "Oh, I came to rescue you." She says something. He's like, "Yeah, his least funny daughter."
Yeah, she said, my dad sent his shortest soldier.
Oh yeah, the
then he's
shortest
like-
soldier, and
He's like,
yeah,
he's
least
like,
funny
yeah,
daughter.
to rescue his least funny daughter.
Yeah, and I'm like, that line should have worked.
But it didn't. Yeah,
But
like
it
there's
didn't.
that's like every line in this movie almost.
Well,
Yeah.
it's also,
But
playing on
you
the
would
fact
have
that,
had
like,
to
you know that the
show-
guy is being played by Kevin Hart.
You would have had to know that Kevin Hart is short. They never show us how short he is in comparison to everyone else.
Until
Like,
later,
no
There's
one-
like one scene where like
standing next to Kate
he's
Blanchett.
like telling Kate Blanchett to get going, and she's like, "I'm gonna die whether I stay with you or not, so I'm staying." And she's like 2 feet taller than him.
Yeah. So there's something like there's some of these jokes that are just not landing, and I feel like it's timing. It might be performance. It's a
It's
million
wild.
things.
Because Kevin Hart.
But I'll tell you a movie where the jokes really landed with the audience, and that was Chicken Coop, which is available on October 1st, 2024. Link in the description of this episode.
You broke A4. What I'm gonna say is I just can't wait
He's
for
gone.
the bowl cut of Chicken Coop. Uwe Boll
Yeah.
is gonna turn that shit around. It's
Dude,
gonna be good. His Nazi
should-
gold is gonna fund that movie. I'm excited. I am fucking so excited.
We should make that our next major project, Joe, is like we take all these video game movies that weren't directed by Uwe Boll and we make a version of it that would have been Uwe Boll's movie.
Wow.
So like we have to get like really hardcore A-list actors and like tell them like I want you to not perform like at all. Like I want this to be abysmal. Like it's like, "Oh man, I know that guy," and then you just don't give a fuck.
Except
We're
for
gonna make
one
this movie.
Except for one movie has to be amazing because Postal is.
Yeah, unless we get Jason Statham and then he's actually pretty good, but he just plays himself.
It's
so.
incredible,
That's true.
dude. Did I talk about the Beekeeper on this podcast, or was that no? That was too
Yes.
recent.
Oh, I thought you talked about this one, but
I think we might have talked about it,
it might have just been us. Yeah, I mean,
But-
we did talk about
dude. Dude, I saw the Beekeeper finally. Like it was number one at the box office for like just randomly for like a couple weeks. It's obviously David Ayer's like big comeback because he, as a filmmaker, he had a couple flops in a row. And I really love End of Watch. That's like a great fucking movie. And it's really like a bummer that he made the Suicide Squad everybody hates. And then he made another movie that flopped. And
I
and
feel
I'm
bad
like,
for the
it's a bummer.
Apparently, like the studio fucked that so bad. So I feel bad for him on that. But
Yeah, when a filmmaker that I really love like has a bad run for a couple years, it's like I don't know. It hurts. It hurts to watch that. But I watched The Beekeeper, which could have been made by anybody, to be honest. But it was just Jason Statham. It was just a pure Jason Statham movie, and the hilarity of that movie is like, I know that whoever originally pitched that movie was like a writer who got really into beekeeping for like a second, just like I have, and then decided to write a dumb thriller with like a beekeeping theme throughout it. So he's a beekeeper, but he's also a member of this secret organization called the Beekeepers that are there to like protect the United States from like any threat, basically. And they're just like the beekeeper. They're just like a honeybee. They have everything is for the hive, which is the United States of America or whatever. And then, I kid you not, one of the funniest fucking things ever was that the guy that was like, you know, like in an action movie, there's going to be like the big baddie. He's got to fight like right before the climax. That's like, you know, it's one of the grunts, but it's like the big one.
Yeah,
you know, the big dude. This guy was in fucking yellow and black clothing. He's a fucking wasp. And I was like, I could not get over like all the bee references and all the hive references, and like some of which, like, nothing was subtle in this movie. It was like fucking going for it. And I'm like, I can't believe I'm watching an action movie where everything is a metaphor for the life of a bee. Like, and it's so there's the metaphor angle, and in the actual script, they're like, everything for the hive. He must protect the queen. Like all these fucking things, hilarious, dude.
Jerry Seinfeld comes in and he's like, "You thinking bee?"
If you want to watch a fucking pure Jason Statham movie, I mean, come on, it was beautiful. It was beautiful how corny it was, but it was actually like it was pretty fun to watch. Like, It was pretty fun, but like the fucking guy being like yellow and black, I was like, and no one ever says it. That was the one subtle thing in the movie. Like, I say subtle in air quotes, was that like the big guy that he's got to fight at the end is clearly a wasp, because he has to get rid of the wasp at the beginning of the movie, so that's set up for the final person who represents a wasp at the end of the movie. It's crazy.
Never draw attention to the silly bits.
Fucking crazy.
It's kind of like how in Muppet Christmas Carol, Michael Caine never acknowledges that he's around Muppets, and that's why it's the best version of A Christmas Carol.
Yes.
Yeah. See, you know what I'm talking about.
No, I was reading a comment and didn't hear what you said, actually. Anyway, this movie's just kind of... It had some good songs in the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
You know
just
what, though,
it's
real
the
quick?
boilerplate. Like they have that one song that plays in like every movie like this, where it's like, "How do you like me now?" I don't know what it's called, but like it's in like every one of these movies where it's like they have that montage. It's like, "How do you like me now?"
You know what? Speaking of movies with good soundtracks, there's one releasing on October 1st.
Yeah, that's right. It's an award-winning soundtrack.
And it's the Blob 4K Steelbook.
Oh, fuck you.
Wait, really?
A 1988 version.
Well, I love
Releasing
that
on
great.
October 1st.
The Blob is great.
Sorry, I had to Google movies releasing on October 1st.
Fuck you.
I needed to subvert it. I'm sorry.
I will say The Blob is fucking great, so you might as well make it a double feature. You can watch Chicken Coop.
Yo, you want to talk about good practical effects?
And in order to dry the tears, watch a fun movie like The Blob afterwards.
you want to talk about
That
good
makes
practical
sense.
effects? The fucking 80s Blob has got it in spades, except for maybe the end where it's clearly on a blue screen. But like everything else is great.
Well, yeah, that fucking guy with like, oh my god, dude, that
Where he's
movie's
like melting. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, it's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, The Blob is that was a revelation for me. It was like a secret movie at a film fest I went to, and they just were like they couldn't say the name of the movie because you can't advertise that you're seeing a movie unless you get the rights for it. So they're just like, it's a random screening, and it was The Blob, and it was fucking.
The kid
It
comes
was
out of the
so
fucking
great.
water and he's like fucking half a skeleton. It's like, oh god, it's awesome.
So great. I was not ready for that movie because I've heard of The Blob.
But like
just,
the 50s one,
mentioned.
right?
No, the 80s one.
Okay.
It's more popular, but it was still like I mean, just a revelation, like how fucking good it is. Like it's a fucking good movie.
I think Red Letter Media touched on that, where like that was that weird era where like in the 80s where they were just like, let's remake a bunch of B horror movies from the 50s. Like there's The Fly and The Blob, and I guess The Thing. Yeah.
They did Scarface, but that's not a horror movie.
It's also not from the 50s. It's from like the 30s.
Yeah, it's for the 30s. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's way older, huh?
Yeah. I mean, that's a good thing to do, is to remake something that's not a classic.
Yeah.
I mean,
Make
like
it a
remakes
classic.
Borderlands in 2078.
Remakes. I mean, the only reason they remake movies now is because
They're recognizable.
they're recognizable, and so they're only going to remake like the movies that were already fucking great that everybody loved, which is kind of a waste. But in the 80s, I mean, they weren't really doing that. They're more like, oh, we're looking for original material, and we could remake this thing that
How did that turn out a couple
no
years
one
ago
remembers,
for,
and there's no such thing as home video, so it doesn't fucking matter. Let's just fucking remake this movie.
How did the remaking classics thing that people recognize work out for like the Candyman remake that came out a couple years ago?
I think that did well, actually.
Really? I didn't hear anyone
Yeah.
talking about it.
No, it was like number one at the box office.
What?
Yeah, I saw it.
All right, well.
It was all right. I never
can't-
saw the original Candyman,
Oh, dude, the original Candyman's great.
so I'm not like a horror guy. I've been watching more horrors in the last couple of years, but
You know what? You want a good night with the wife? Load up Hellraiser. Put that on. You guys will have a great time.
she loves it when they're like fucking crazy dark and
Hell yeah.
Hey,
Your wife?
that's Hellraiser.
She's got
that's
good.
Candyman.
She's got good taste.
she
Except-
likes
except
it
Candy-
bloody.
Except Candyman,
Fuck
well,
off, dude.
Hellraiser's
Hell
very
yeah.
bloody, but also Candyman is very like politically charged, where it's all about like black-white relations and stuff. So that's an interesting
Interesting.
angle that they of course took for the remake. But you know,
Yeah, she either likes it to be like a chick flick or like some dark fucking fucked up shit. And
I
I'm
will
kind of in the
say-
middle. I'm like, I could use like a good historical drama. I could use like all these other kind of movies, like an art house picture.
I will say, Hellraiser
It's just
1.
funny to me.
Hellraiser 1
Funny.
is both very bloody and gory, but also kind of a chick flick because the woman is like trying to reconnect with like a former lover. So it's got like this weird, gory, kind of like sensual vibe, like psychosexual vibe to it. You should really watch Hellraiser. It's a great movie.
Yeah, that'll
Speaking of
probably be your
movies-
favorite movie.
Speaking of movies to watch, Chicken Coop, October 1st, 2024. Link in the description. Please follow us on Instagram and
Fulgrim in the
Facebook.
chat says
Don't
chicken
we?
raisin.
Don't we know? I feel like we know the person who made Chicken Coop.
He sounds like a good guy.
No, I heard he
Yeah,
was.
he's
Never mind.
alright.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah.
I know for a fact, now I'm looking at the platforms that Chicken Coop is supposed to be on, and everything is like pitch, pitch, pitch. So they're not telling me exactly the platform. I believe it will be released on DVD on Amazon. But Christian Cinema, guys, it's definitely going to be on Christian Cinema because they didn't even mark that as a pitch. So
By the way, Noisy3 in the chat said search chicken coop and found only literal chicken coop. He also said earlier in his first time chat, Kevin Hart is is never funny.
Kevin Hart is funny.
I like Kevin Hart.
I like Kevin Hart. I think
Small doses.
everybody who gets super popular to a mainstream audience, like there's like an internet backlash of like, I never liked him.
I think Kevin
And,
Hart has good like mainstream stand up. I'm less a fan of him now that he's doing like Capital One commercials or whatever the fuck he's doing, but like his stand up's all right. It's good if you
Dude,
just want to put on something
he's
funny.
raking in the money. What, you don't like successful people? Is that what you're saying right now?
Hey, Kevin Hart, he's a Philly boy, all right? He's one of mine. All right.
He's one of your Philly boys?
Yeah.
No, he can't be yours. They had a war about that.
Not anymore.
also,
Yeah.
Also, as a short king, Kevin Hart and me are kindred spirits.
Yeah, what's wrong with the short guy getting
I
some
thought-
success?
I thought you were so tall when I first started, like, when I saw, like, on, like, the thing, and suddenly, like, I'm a manlet, and I was like, no.
I'm sorry. Fulgrim in the chat says Louis C.K. should have been Kevin Hart's character in Borderlands. And now I'm just imagining, like, there's fucking piss in my car, and,
Yeah, that would have been pretty good.
Instead of like sacrificing himself for all the psychos in that one tunnel, he's just like, can I jack off in front of you?
Yeah, you guys don't mind, right? Yeah. You don't mind? Yeah. They said they didn't mind.
It's good sin. I asked 4 times. It's okay.
He just defeats all the psychos by just yelling the N-word as loud as possible.
It's like the Sean Connery joke where he's like 3 no's and a yes. It's still a yes.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to slap a woman if she gets a little bit out of line. Because you always give them the last word, and they want more than the last word. And I think sometimes you need to slap them a bit. And has your position changed on that, Sean Connery? No, it hasn't.
Yeah. Kevin Hart, I will defend in The 40-Year-Old Virgin. I think he's great in that movie.
He's Steve Carell, right?
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah,
Kevin Hart, Steve Carell as the 40-year-old virgin.
No, he's one of the other salesmen in the
I forgot about that. Holy shit! Yeah,
yeah, he's young. I enjoyed Central Intelligence as a dumb comedy like action film, and Jumanji: Welcome to the Jungle as a terrible sequel to Jumanji.
By the way, what is with them putting like Kevin Hart and Jack Black in all these fucking movies together?
They're just opposites. So it's funny.
We didn't even touch on the Minecraft trailer. I don't know if you guys watched that or not.
Yeah,
I didn't think okay. Isn't that by Jared Hess? Am I crazy?
I don't know. Hopefully the show's over before that comes out.
Jared and Jerusha Hess. I think it is.
Oh, it'll be over.
The Minecraft movie. Jared Hess directed the Minecraft movie. Okay.
What else did he do?
Now, what I understood... Oh, Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre.
Oh, okay. That's weird... All right.
Now rewatch the trailer.
So so now I have to imagine Jack Black going, beneath a man you find his clothes, and beneath his clothes you find his nucleus.
Yes.
Which makes my wife crack up every single time we watch Nacho Libre.
So, look, Minecraft doesn't have like a fucking story or anything like that. I can understand. I watched that trailer knowing it was a Jared Hess movie. And I just had to double check before this. I'm like, please tell me I was right. Okay. Knowing it was a Jared Hess movie, I go like, okay, yeah, that clocks with a Jared Hess movie.
That
like,
does recontextualize
the bizarre characters acting super specifically. I really don't know if I am gonna spell doom and gloom as much as other people are on this fucking Minecraft.
Don't get
movie.
me wrong, that movie's gonna make a fuckload of money. I just think it's gonna suck.
I haven't seen a single thing by that guy that's ever sucked. I've never seen a bad movie by Jared Hess. I don't know.
He's always worked like smaller budgets, right?
Yeah, he makes really fucking weird comedies.
No,
like,
I know.
You have to be
like
ready
a bigger
for like.
Budget, I feel like that's gonna like kind of distract you from the weird comedy stylings of him.
I mean, okay, so we got Napoleon Dynamite, Nacho Libre, Gentlemen Broncos, Don Verdine, which is the one I haven't seen, Masterminds, and then Minecraft movie. So, like, I haven't seen Don Verdine. I know that's his big, huge flop. Gentlemen Broncos is one of those movies that it's like you either love it or hate it. I loved it. When I watched it, I was like, this is one of the funniest fucking things I've ever seen in my life. So I actually have high hopes for that Minecraft movie. Because if it's a Jared Hess movie, there's going to be some people who just like do not get the humor. But I mean, he's a Utah boy, so there's something culturally about that I'm like,
there's a bias here.
No, here's the deal. He's like in Napoleon Dynamite. For the people who don't get Napoleon Dynamite, who watched it and are like, I don't get this. It's because you've never met the weird country folk out in fucking Utah and Idaho.
I mean, I've never met them either, but I like Napoleon Dynamite.
And that like fizzle of like weird Mormon culture where everything's like 10 years behind, and like there's a whole bunch of things in Napoleon Dynamite that are like super specific to where the movie takes place, and he does that, like Gentleman Broncos, I think was shot in northern Utah. Nacho Libre, he went on a mission to Mexico, so it's almost from like that angle as like a Mormon looking at Mexican culture. So there's a whole bunch of stuff there that I feel like a lot of people aren't going to appreciate. When I saw Jason Momoa with that fucking hairpiece, I was like, that feels like a Jared Hess move. Just to put like a big like star and make him look insane. Like,
That
so
does recontextualize that for me. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It really does. If you're like, oh, if they had put at the beginning of the thing from the makers of Nacho Libre, then I think people aren't going to be looking at like, oh, this is the video game adaptation and they better be good to the source material. Going to be more like, no, the guy who made Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre is going to fuck with this. So I know he's only the director. He's not the writer. So maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe he's just doing this as a cash grab. I hope I'm wrong. But I think it does recontextualize like the awkwardness of the trailer.
Yeah, that makes more sense now. Yeah. Because I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is like ridiculous. Why would they ever do this?
Well, I said like it looked like Jason Momoa was supposed to be in Barbie and like walked onto the wrong set and they just kept him. But knowing that it's that guy, I'm like, okay, that makes more sense now.
So you're gonna be in for a very different movie. In other words, like it's that
Not
guy
like
doesn't make normal
the
movies.
World from the fucking Minecraft movie. I'm just like,
I mean, if the most normal movie you've ever made is Masterminds, like, come on. I mean, also that was a movie that was slept on. That movie should have made way more money than it did. Masterminds, I highly recommend. It's a great comedy. But if you're a person who doesn't like cringe comedy or whatever they call that for people who have like fucking, I don't know, Asperger's and can't tell human situations, like can't read into those and really like, connect with those, then maybe you're not gonna like it. So,
well, we'll find out individually, not for the show. But
yeah,
hopefully.
that's true.
Depends on
There you have it.
9 more years.
Taking how long it takes me to fly out there.
Yeah, we got to figure that out.
Well, hopefully it's before April 4th, 2025, which will be when Minecraft
movie comes out. Yeah, that should be the final episode. We all go see it in theaters together.
Yeah, wasted.
Yeah, and then Joe is like, "This is so brilliant," and we're all just like, "Boo!"
I mean, maybe that's how I felt about Gentleman Broncos. Like, people fucking hate that movie. And like me and Baindrum, who is a UFF listener that we had kind of a relationship with for a few years, we were like the only. I had seen it because it was streaming, and I was like, "Oh, I should watch this." It's Jared Hess. Then I watched it. I was like, "This is fucking amazing!" And he was the only guy who had seen it because the movie made no money. No one saw it, and then like those who did see it like shat on it. So maybe it's just me. Maybe I just like Jared Hess, but. I'm biased, I guess, in that way.
I think you know
knowing it was
Utah bias going on, but
knowing it was Jared Hess, it's not just a Utah bias. I think it's like that type of humor. Like I don't make those kind of jokes, but I appreciate that kind of humor.
I do like Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre. I think those are very.
It's so overtly silly,
and
it's not shying away from just being silly on top of silly. Like there's no irony there. Like it's just. Ridiculous.
It's like taking a movie like Hot Rod, but like subtling it up a bit, I guess.
Sure, yeah, and Hot Rod was kind of made as like almost like a
response
in the wake of in the wake of Napoleon Dynamite being a hit. That kind of movie was a thing for a few years, but
yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I hope for the best for my boy Jared Hess. He also made that documentary, what is it, Murder Among the Mormons, the 4-part series on Netflix. He did all like the fucking recreation scenes, which are hilarious. I recommend that. I know you guys hate Netflix shows, but if there's one to watch, that one's as an ex-Mormon, I can watch that and not cringe. when I fucking watched 5 minutes of this Secret Lives of Mormon Wives thing, I was like, this is the most inaccurate bullshit I've ever fucking seen in my life. I can't believe I have to go and defend Mormonism again as a person who doesn't believe it for a fucking second. I'm like, these fucking swingers are not following the fucking church. They would have been excommunicated from this shit. Zach is talking. I cannot hear him.
Yeah, his
Oh,
micro-
sorry. I didn't realize my mic was up. I was gonna say yes to that. That like, yeah, I watched that documentary, and some things yes, but the backstabbing and the talking shit behind your back and being nice to your face was 100% accurate of Mormon Utah culture.
Okay.
But the whole swinging thing, like every time one of them said, I'm very devout, I sat there and I fucking laughed, and I was like, if you're devout, I'm the prophet.
What fucking world am I living in? Like, what church did I go to? Am I taking crazy pills? Is everybody swinging now?
We went to the wrong one.
Apparently. I went to the one where it was like, oh, you watched porn for a second. You should not take the sacrament for 6
Tell me
months.
I could have been Mormon and got pussy? What the fuck?
I mean, some of us did. Anyway, so my favorite one about that I found out was in the first episode they talk about, it's Whitney, she's talking about how her husband, they saw him on a dating site and he was like confused and had this addiction or whatever. They say Tinder on the she says Tinder when she tells her friends, but I found out that it was actually Grindr, and I'm like, I fucking knew he was gay. I saw it and I knew.
It's Zach's favorite show.
Dude, more the
It's like, that guy's gay.
That's my favorite game, so I can be like, I can tell.
No, because he's watching the show and he's like, Brad? Wait, what?
I saw you on Grindr. No,
I fucked you on
that's the
Grindr.
first thing. It's the first thing Rachel said. She's like, I think he's gay, and I was
Okay,
like,
you're not wrong about an insular, judgy culture. You're not wrong about that, Zach.
oh, I know,
But
I know.
But
I was there.
these people, like, the fucking network is calling these people Mormon. And I'm like, dude, you would have been excommunicated
I mean,
already.
to be fair, some of them do.
And you're not, by the way, and I immediately, so my wife started watching that thing and I got triggered. I was already on a rant. I'm like, I can't fucking do this. Like I already have fucking huge, massive issues that probably need to go through therapy with that fucking church and the shit that I've had to go through. But what makes me even more mad than regular Mormonism is Jack Mormonism. Is that fucking shit where it's like, they're like, oh, I'm Mormon and I do this, 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 and this. And I'm like, fuck you. You know how much fucking shit I had to go through as a fucking teenager with this stuff? Like, oh my God, the amount of like repenting I had to do from age 15 to 19, like, it makes me so fucking mad.
I saw a
And
tampon once. I had to spend 3 months in the chamber of silence.
I got really mad at an actor a few years ago that I worked with about this, where he was like, oh, Mormon, I have sex. I take LSD. And I'm like, I fucking read the books that you're supposed to read. They 100% you say you're not supposed to do this. It says it's second to murder. Breaking the law of chastity is second to murder. Are you fucking stupid? Can you not read? If you say that you believe this, then clearly you say, I'm going to hell and I don't care. Like, what are you talking about? Like, are the stakes not clear to you? Are you fucking stupid?
Okay, Joe, here's for someone who had the
You
same
are
rant.
a fucking moron. If you like, so that's where I'm like, okay, so you're either stupid or you're a liar.
Or you're
Which one is
stupid.
it? Either way, I don't like what you're doing. Are you
Borderlands.
stupid or are you a
Hey,
liar?
listen, here, all I'm going to say is it's hard to know where the line is in that religion when your founder of the church licked toads to see the first vision and then sent people's spouses on missions and then went, you're kind of lonely and I can take care of you while he's gone. And
No,
then
I mean,
fucked them.
it's
So, I mean,
not
the line is weird.
Look,
when
dude,
it's,
it is not a gray line in the modern
no, for sure.
Mormon
And
church.
you are 100% correct. I had that same talk.
I am
with the
because
one-
I couldn't fucking read.
Buddy, I was there. I did the same. I went on a mission. I was there, Joe.
Oh my!
And
I did my time in Azkaban.
That's how I feel. Actually,
I
talking about
left
it.
before I ever went on a mission. I'm very grateful for that.
So no, like, but for real though, like I've had this same conversation with someone when I was devout. after my mission. I had the same conversation with a friend about it, where I was like, dude, like, you can't. He was like, well, I mean, it's kind of dumb because, like, I mean, he just got divorced because he's a piece of shit. Personally, he was a piece of shit. Not that he got divorced, but he was a piece of shit himself. And he had some
Nothing
one
to
night
do with
stands.
Mormonism. He was
Yeah, no. He had kind of. He had some one night stands, and he just like was like mad that he was like getting like on disciplinary. And I was like, bro, if you believe it, then you believe it. If not, shut the fuck up and leave. Like, there's your options.
Yeah.
Your options are right there, and you're not choosing to take them. Who would
Okay.
believe it? No, you don't. No, you don't, because you're not doing it.
I forgot the tangent I was going to get on. Okay, so Mormon Stories podcast. You know that one, Zach? I assume you do.
I don't actually.
Okay. It's a super big podcast. It was this guy who was a devout Mormon, and he was doing Mormon stuff, and then he eventually like left the church. And so like, and it's like a huge following, big podcast. Really like very clear about Mormonism and its beliefs and like its history and stuff. Like, it's a very good podcast, just intellectually. He had some people on there that were like, I think his argument for the last few years, this like guy who I occasionally check in with this podcast, very occasionally. I had to check in for this fucking Mormon Wives show. I was like, what the fuck are they saying about this thing on there? And yeah, it was like, yeah, this doesn't really go with like actual Mormonism. But then their argument was, it was like him and a couple other like women who really like reality shows were on there that were ex-Mormon or Mormon. And they were like, well, but it's like, you know, they're culturally Mormon. And that's like the new thing that they're going with for the last 10 years was that like, oh, all these people, they're trying to like get an acceptance. There's a big like, I guess, unearthing of people who would be like my friend who took acid and had sex outside of marriage, I guess, would be like, oh, they're culturally Mormon. So they like go to church occasionally and they participate in all this shit, but they don't actually believe the religion. Which, for me growing up in it, I did leave, 20 years ago or whatever. Not 20 years ago. What, 13 years ago? So I did leave. I did leave a while ago. And clearly there's been some changes culturally within Mormonism since then. But as far as I could tell, they interview you all the time like, do you believe it? Do you believe it? Like, if you don't believe it, then fucking leave. Like, that is the message of the church. There's no fucking cultural Mormonism. So I had some real problems with that. I'm like, get the fuck out of here with that cultural Mormonism thing. Also, if you're like, oh, I'm seven generations of Mormonism in my family, we were pioneers. I can't just leave the church. It's like, fuck you, dude. Just fucking leave. It's not, it isn't anything. Like, I don't understand that angle at all. Like, I do not understand it. So the Mormons that just stay in the church just because it's like part of their culture, like, I want to kill them. There's no one I'm more angry at than that person. Just fucking leave. Why are you lying to people? That's what you're doing. You're just living a lie. So, sorry. Joe Mormon rant emerges once again.
As a palate cleanser, I just imagined a Mormon guy pointing at a chihuahua doing a backflip and going, do you believe it? Do you believe it?
No, I mean, Zach, back me up.
Get the fuck out.
I
not
to bring levity to your
actually, I was talking to a coworker and he was just saying that like it seems like he's not anymore, but he said like what he's seen like commercials and stuff for like talking to people that are in it, that the Mormons are going in the direction of like those mega churches right now, with like the way they're like producing things and like showing things, and so like that's like, to me, it's like, what's the word? It's
corporate.
It's disappointing, but it's not surprising.
I know the new Mormon prophet has no backbone, and he's afraid of the word Mormon and shit.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is someone that said Mormon, and this lady on Instagram was like, "Actually, it's the Church of Jesus Christ."
Church of Jesus Christ.
So I went on there and I said, "Dude, I spent 2 years handing out cards that said I'm a Mormon." I'm like, Rusty can eat my ass, my whole ass. I spent 2 years going, "I'm a Mormon. I'm a Mormon."
Oh, by the way, those I'm a Mormon videos, you can see one of those people in our movie of Chicken Coop, which is on October 1st, 2024. I have no comments as to that person's religion, but if you want to see both a person who starred in the I'm a Mormon campaign and also in Chicken Coop You can watch that on October 1st, 2024. Link in the description of this episode.
And to, to listeners of the show, if you want to die of alcohol poisoning, start this episode over, and every time Joe mentions chicken coop, take a shot.
Yeah. Speaking of, since I don't want to be sleeping in the chicken coop that I don't have, I gotta go put those kids to bed. So
okay.
I was gonna say I gotta run too. So
all right. We'll see you guys in 2.5 months.
Yeah.
For the Conan review. Hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, join us next Tuesday. We're gonna be one of us should stream the game. We'll stream it. Yeah, we'll stream.
His name is Schweiss.
Join us in the exiled lands where you will have to, I don't know, cure some salted meat and eat ice to survive in a volcano or some shit.
Hell yeah. Till then, live always in the nude.
May your head be held nude.
Zach goes next.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Oh, it's been that long. We're fucking lost.
We are the 24th chromosome.
Walk with your retarded meat held high.
Yeah, fuck hypocrites. I don't know what I want to say right now.
Joe sounds so defeated after that rant.